Peace YouTube, this is Fleur Brune coming to you today with another topic of discussion. I'll wait and see a few of you check on in. I actually tried to do a live a little while ago, but I couldn't do it. So check on in. Hopefully this works. Okay. It's okay. So I see a few of you checking in. Peace to the east, the west, to the north, and the south. Okay. So it's a beautiful day in your neighborhood. How are you guys doing with the Grand Rising? Grand Rising. How's everyone doing with the convergence? Are you guys noticing your timeline differences? Anything different? Anyone notice anything interesting? Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Zenny. Hey, Universal. Hey, Pavel. Pavel, I saw your message. If anyone's getting unsubscribed, let me say this, Pavel, I'm sorry they unsubscribed. They do that to my channel. So if someone's unsubscribed you, this is part of what happens with you, with Fleur Brune. And this has been for years now. If you get unsubscribed, it isn't me, I promise you. So if they're unsubscribing you, just resubscribe. There's nothing I could do about it. It's kind of like, I guess the topics are really, and I don't know if it has to do with me having that contacty kind of, I don't know what it is. So, you know, if you come in, if you could put a like, that'd be great. We're going to talk about something amazing. And some of us on the quicker frequencies, 5 to 10 minutes ahead of others. Oh, really? Asha says some of us are on quicker frequencies, 5 to 15 minutes ahead of others. It's amazing. Thank you, Pavel, for resubscribing. I feel like I had a shift, a dream. I was walking underwater. Oh, very mermaid of you. I don't know if it's my energy. I just, you know, I think some of the topics are a little piloted. And I keep it 1000. I keep it real. So thank you for all who are joining this. This is really, actually, this is a really important video. And I didn't realize it yesterday. Yesterday, the energies were amazing. Like, I literally was walking around, I was checking off, you know, basically denoting what was changing in my frequency. I just looked, there were different signs in different places. So it was literally, the collapse is noticeable. And I noticed that the collapse is happening basically in little pieces. I noticed I noticed it in a grandiose way, but I noticed things like that. But I noticed even today, like there's signs where there never used to be, things are happening. I upset you yesterday, but I don't want to be judged if I'm lighter than my twin. Oh, twin, don't listen, love. Don't take it personally. Things I say have to do from my own perspective. Don't be upset with me. I haven't any intention to offend you. I apologize if I offended you. Sometimes some things I say can be depending on your point of view, can be just a little, you know, and you may not have to agree with it. Okay, so I'm sorry if I offended you. It wasn't my intent. Believe me, it's never my intent to offend. Loving who you love is who you love. I won't ever judge that. I'm a lover of love. I support love 1000%, but I talk from a perspective of knowing certain things beyond what most people have a bird's eye view of. And complexionism is one of those things that does occur. And there are things that happen with people based on their rearing and, you know, sociological imprints that affect people's choices. That's all. But when you love somebody, you love them. And you know who loves you and you know who you love. So that's all that matters. I'm just somebody on here on YouTube. You know, I'm not the end all be all love. You always vet everything I say out. You know, that's one thing I will always tell you to do. That I'm just, you know, I'm just someone who shares my journey and the things that I've learned and my wisdom that I've gained. That's it. And you can take some of the things that I may share with you, and some things you can just throw out. You know what I mean? So, you know, again, I apologize if I offended you. Anyway, family, so this is deep. So yesterday, happy birthday. Whose birthday is it? Blissful birthday. Blissful anniversaire to our family on here. Another Leos in the house. Big up to the Leos. You masterful lions. I love you, Leos. I really do. I really personally have an investment in the other fire signs. I really do. I love all the signs, but you know, Leos, I really appreciate you because you always bring in those frequencies with all the eclipses, and you guys are unapologetic about it. Fleur, do we need to get pink candle for Friday if it symbolizes love? Get the candle that serves you best. Green is a representation of love. Pink is as well. So I always do a combination of pink and green. You can get a pink. If pink is a color that you feel like getting, I just don't like the demonization of pink. Pink is one of the highest cosmetology. My girlfriend took this class, Cosmo something. She took a Cosmo something class, and it's the highest. That's why they demonize it. It's the highest frequency of color for feminine consciousness, pink. So they demonize it and put cancer on it, breast cancer. That's why, that's the only reason I don't really use pink as much. So that's the only reason I do green. Green is definitely, it's a healthy color. It represents the earth colors, Mother Tiamat, and also represents the heart space. So I always use that. I love the color pink, but they've demonized it by putting that cancer thing. That's why when you wear those, they always putting those pink ribbons on people. Cancer awareness and all these awarenesses are making you manifest those things. So, if you keep putting those ribbons representing those diseases and viruses that they've imprinted on you, then basically you're pulling in that frequency. The awareness, they're bringing you into awareness of something that you're going to accept. So that's why pink, I love pink, but pink isn't a color you rarely see on me. And it looks beautiful on me. It's one of my favorite colors to wear. I won't wear it because they've demonized it. And because the collective has done it, even though I know what it is, I have to be careful wearing it. That's why I tell you not to wear pink bras, brasiers, ladies, or pink panties, because you put that frequency on you, and the collective has already acknowledged that pink is a representation of cancer. You start putting pink panties, and if you notice, it's hard for you to get a black bra without pink inside of it. It's all a setup. Anyway, let me not get you paranoid. It's Thursday. We can change it, but the collective, it's harder when the collective does something and accepts it, because you have to overcome the collective consensus of something. So you could, I love pink. You could, we did it with the 13, but 13 already was being used in positive ways too. The diabolicals were using, but we've overcome that. So we could, but just be careful with it, because you'll walk around trying to manifest positivity with pink, and then you'll see people with pink ribbons representing cancer all day. Or you'll go in a building and you'll see the pink ribbon on a hospital door, representing cancer. That's kind of hard to overcome when the collective has imprinted that kind of disease related to a color. You know what I mean? It's you can do it, but it's I say, why force yourself to try to overcome that? Just do what's, go in the flow of things and do what you feel is, worthy of putting that kind of effort into. If you can avoid a color just based on what they're doing, I say you do that until it's transmuted itself. Okay, so family, I've got some details. So tomorrow we have our twin flame manifestation. If anyone's coming in, please put a like in the video. I appreciate it. It's tomorrow we have our twin flame manifestation twin flame manifestation ritual tomorrow. It's gonna be amazing. You already saw the goodies I bought yesterday. Many of you are preparing. I see the emails. It's amazing. So it's gonna be amazing. Okay. So I speak to Paula. Big up to Paula. Paula's still, remember, that was my homie. We were in Brazil together for the month. Many of you know Paula's from here. So Paula, we're talking yesterday, and we were talking for a while because she's still in Brazil. So we're talking, and she was like, you know what? All this cutting cords, she was like, she had spoken to someone. She had heard, she was listening to another YouTuber talking, really, really amazing spiritualist. And she was denoting that she listened. She's like, Del, all this time I've been cutting cords. That's, my nickname is Del. All this time I've been cutting cords. Oh, uh-oh. I think that's my mate. Hold on. That might be my twin flame. He's not supposed to be here. Is that him? Okay, no. Oh, I was about to say, when a twin flame starts popping up on you, he did that yesterday. Doing drive-bys. Twin flame drive-bys. So she was talking about cutting cords. The crows have been talking to me all morning, family. I'm sorry. They were talking to me over by Starbucks, and now they're talking to me now. Hey. I think those are the shape-shifting ones. See, he's quiet now. They were talking to me over at Starbucks. And now I came home and they're talking to me. I couldn't do the live at Starbucks because, I don't know, they just don't let me do lives over there anymore. So anyway, so we were talking, she said all this time she's been cutting cords. And she said, it isn't cutting cords you're supposed to do. You're supposed to pull the roots, because if you cut cords, they'll grow back based on where they're rooted. So, when you cut your grass, I don't believe in cutting grass. I think it's heinous. I'm anti cutting grass, even though my neighbor will come and cut my, I have some grass here. He'll come over and cut my grass against my will. I told him to stop doing that. You're hurting my grass. But we have regulations here in Florida, so you can't let your grass. I love long grass. Anyway, I'm getting away from the topic. So she said, you're not supposed to cut cords. You're supposed to pull from the roots and pull it out. Because if you keep cutting cords, it'll kind of grow back. Those cords will grow back depending on the situation and so on. So it's crazy because as soon as she said it, I was like, you know what? That's right. Cutting cords doesn't do anything. It's a temporary fix to something that's long term. You're supposed to pull out the roots. So you literally see where the root is of that relationship, that previous relationship that's already satisfied. I told you, family, I disagree with pulling things or cutting things when you haven't satisfied your contracts. How you know you should pull something out is like when you see a tree is dead. If you ever go in a forest, I'm a tree person. So you ever go in a forest and you see the tree is dead. The bark is already decrepit. There's no more leaves. There's no more greenery. It's dead. It's basically just an erected, dead tree, bark. You're supposed to pull from the roots. So I said, oh my gosh, all this time, everyone's cutting cords. You're supposed to remove the roots. And I said, I've got to tell everyone that this is, and I feel like she told us that. When she told me that, I felt like that was like the universe was utilizing Paola to give that intel so I can share with you. So I was like, we've got to do this. And it was right before we're about to do our manifestation Roto-Rooter. MK said Roto-Rooter. Remember that? Roto-Rooter, that's the name. If you find anyone, just call our name. Remember that commercial? That's an old school commercial. Actually, see how now that's, I'm sidebarring. See how I remember that song? That's a conditioning. You see, I even remember a song that's years ago. I don't even know how many years Roto-Rooter commercials. You don't even know those. I'm still singing it. That's why I say the color pink, that imprinting on the subconscious is strong. That's what I'm saying. You can try to overcome certain things, but when you have programmings that have been instilled in us for a long period of time, it's really hard to get rid of it. Anyway, I was just sidebarring. So we have to pull out the roots. So she said this yesterday, and then I watched a twin flame movie because she was watching like an old school twin flame movie. I think it says, and he loved her. It's a movie, and he chose. I'll put the name of the movie. It's an old school movie. She was watching a twin flame movie. I love watching them because we're in the twin flame energy, right? We're doing our Manifestation Friday. So I was watching a twin flame movie last night. It's old school. It's beautiful though. It was a gentleman who was about to make king. He was in England. He was about to become king, and he was married, and it was another American woman married. Many of you may know this movie already. And he loved her. Yeah, and he loved her. Yeah, and he chose to not even go to his coronation to become king because he was so in love with this woman. It was so deep, family. This was twin flame up the gazoo. They were both married. Listen, family, I told you, I already gave you the, my PR that I'm not responsible for what you do, but they were both married. And they saw each other, and the twin flames automatically knew. I mean, this man was king. He was already a duke. And he was about to be coronated. His father just passed, and they loved each other. I mean, it was so deep. It's an old movie. It's kind of like, I don't know if you could, I'm going to put the name in there. For a man not to choose to take he said, I don't care. Listen to this, family. It was so deep because Paola told me to watch it. He said, I don't care. If I can't be with her, I don't want to be king. Oh, he turned down. It was on press. They were after her. I mean, it was paparazzi up the gazoo, demonizing her, calling her an American whore. He took down he loved her. That is a twin flame, family. Twin flame. A lot of people are married to the wrong person. It's not being married. You can't be married to the wrong person. We have karmic debts and we have karmic relationships. Every relationship is meaningful. Every relationship you have. But we stay past the expiration date. I've always talked about this. Staying in relationships past its expiration date. I think a lot of people feel hell-bent on staying in relationships that supersede their time frame. People are supposed to be together for a reason and a season. It isn't always what you think. You learn, you gain wisdom, and then that's when you notice that the relationship starts to dissipate. Some people only are supposed to mate to have a child. It's interesting how that happens. Depends on the karmic contract. So anyway, family, so Paula made me, she didn't make me watch this movie. I watched it. It was amazing. I'll put the name of it. It's a long movie. It's just, I just want you to get in that twin flame acknowledgement. Hold on. Okay. I just want you to get in this twin flame feeling. But I told you that movie was, it was the bomb.com. Just when you see a man, I love to see men when they're in love. Women, we fall in love. We do. Generally, most women, because of the nature of who we are and the fact that we can be mothers, it's a woman when she falls in love is really unapologetic. Unless she's like really traumatized, we can fall in love. We do. We fall in love, and even when we fall in love with wrong people, we can, oh, what's the name of the movie? Hold on, let me go off. Okay, hold on, stay on. Let me go off and get the name of the movie, and then I'll come right back. Hold on, I want to get it for you. Wait, can I wonder if I could do it. Is Paula, are you on here? Maybe Paula's on here. I'll do it afterwards, because I don't know if it'll interrupt the feed and so on. Okay, no, it's not Ghost. Ghost is another movie, but that's different. It's called When He Loved Her, or something like that. But I'll put the movie in here, I promise. But needless to say, when you see a man, this is a man of, you know, wealth, status. This is an American woman he met. It was, yeah, Ghost is not a twin flame movie. It was a woman that he met. And it was just like choice meeting. They were married. It was a sister who wanted her friend to go and meet and keep company with the Duke. It was so interesting because when he saw her and she saw him, it was love when he loved her. That was it. It's a true story. It's actually a fact. This is a fact, family. This is a true twin flame story. From the rooter to the tutor, like rooter. From the rooter to the tutor, this is, oh, Salou. Where's Salou? Oh, yeah, Salou's on here. Salou, I have the directions to the store. I'm sorry. You were supposed to email me. I don't want to put the address on here. So, Salou, just email me and I'm going to send you to the store with the oils and stuff. But anyway, needless to say, it is a beautiful story. I wanted you to really, I loved watching it. And I know it may be corny for people because sometimes you want to look at people that you can relate to, but I felt the journey of the twin flame was so in the story. It's not in black and white. It's in color. When he loved her. Okay, I've got to get the name for you. Don't worry about it. I was watching I watched it on YouTube for free. I'll put the link because it's free on YouTube. It's just a movie. She gave me the link. So I'm going to put the link on here. But anyway, Paula told me she pulled out the root finally. And she said, this is what the lady said. She said, everybody's cutting cords. It's not the cords, it's the root. Family, it made sense. And guess what happened? So I watched this twin flame movie. I was talking about the roots. I said I was going to make a video to tell you guys so that before we do our twin flame manifestation tomorrow, I wanted us to all be prepared because this is going to work, family. So I went to sleep. Don't you know, in the ether, I pulled out 2 roots of 2 trees that were dead. It's so deep. It was so real that I woke up knowing that I did it. So I went and I was pregnant in the ether because remember, family, you know, I'm going to have a son, a healthy baby boy. When it happens, you'll just know. But I was going to have a son. So I was pregnant in the ether. And as I'm pregnant, I go in, these trees are both side by side. And I'm pregnant and I'm pulling, and I'm a tree lover. And in the dream, I have a realization that this is what I have to do. So I'm pulling from the roots. I'm pulling and I'm tugging and I get one out. It's a big tree, but it's dead. Dead bark, nothing there. I'm pulling. Even the roots are dry. So I'm pulling and I finally tugged one out. The second one I pulled. The second one was easier to get out, but it still took as much effort. So I go and then I'm contented now. I pulled the roots from these trees and they're on the sidewalk, but I'm very sad because in my mind's eye, I'm very protective of the trees. So I don't want them to stay out there in their bark. I felt like it was disrespectful to leave them on the road like that because I pulled them out and I went and I saw Kirk. It was so sad, family. That's why I'm saying I wanted to share this story with you. And I saw Kirk, and Kirk was crying, and he was asking me why I pulled the root. Oh, family, it was so crazy, because I realized that one of the roots I pulled out was Kirk, and he felt it energetically. So he came to me in this dream state, in the ether state, and he's crying to me, and he's upset that I pulled the root out, and it was him. The other one is the narcissistic sociopathic Nazi. I had to pull his root out. I didn't realize who it was after, until I saw Kirk come up to me, and he was so upset. And I in that state, I couldn't say anything, because I knew that the bark was dead. That bark was dead. So I'm assuming it was him based on his reaction, and he wouldn't let me go. He wouldn't let me go. He just kept holding on to me and crying, and just asking me why I did that. And I said, well, maybe you could plant it in your yard. I felt bad. So anyway, needless to say, I wanted to share this story because I pulled the roots out of 2 karmic relationships that I feel are karmic relationships. And I love, the narcissist, I'm over the Nazi. Oh, thank you. Please like the video if you come in. I appreciate it, family, if you come in. I appreciate it. I really love Kirk. I do. I did. That's a love. I told you in my past life what we were together. That's a love that's even with the twinning. I love him. Like there isn't any love other than the twin that I love him. I do. I tell him all the time. It isn't that. It's the karmic relationship. It's not even a karmic relationship. It's a soul relationship, a soulmate. He's my soulmate. I'm with my twin. So it's totally different. But I pulled his root not knowing, meaning I had to pull my roots. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Pavel. Flirbum, in my dream, my twin's karmic partner beats her. I saw her with black and blue eye-busted lips. I stepped in and stopped her abuse. Oh, see? The twin is coming in, Pavel. You want to go save her because she's with a karmic mate. Yeah, the love I feel is totally different. This is what I'm talking about. You saved your twin because you have that connection. You know what they're going through. And this is where I know that we're on the right path. Before I've discussed, and many of you know, like many of you used to ask me, how come Flurber doesn't talk about twin flames? I remember at the beginning, many of you used to ask me, how come I didn't talk about twin flames? I was like, I don't really feel like connected to that topic. Like I didn't really feel it. Like I almost thought it was psyop. I've discussed this before. And then all of a sudden I started to see all this. Before I even felt like I met my twin, I started to see twinning phenomenon. Just twinning stuff. Like 2020 stuff. And then I realized, oh snap, this is a real phenomenon that they've hijacked. So they're putting false information out there to deter people from actually twinning. But they're acting, you know what I'm saying? They'll give you some twinning truth. So they'll give you some twinny truth, but at the same point, they'll mislead you. So once I acknowledged that the twins were there, I vet everything out. And once I vetted it out, I realized that this is a phenomenon that only occurs at the end and beginning of cycles, where we see our twins in other lives, but when we actually are allowed to union with our twins is at the end and beginning of cycle. Family, we're at the end and beginning of another cycle. We're at the end of Pisces and we're dawning the age of Aquarius. This is the cycle that we twin. That's why we're seeing it. That's why the topic is coming up. That's why people are feeling the yearning and the disconnection. And me and Paula were talking, we're seeing marriages break up left and right. I haven't. She said there's somebody online, she was looking at their marriage, like they were taking pictures. This man and woman have been married for many, many years. Oh, here it is. The Woman He Loved, 1988, free on YouTube. There it goes. It won't let you paste it. Okay, I have thank you. It's called The Woman He Loved. Thank you so much. See, I love it. Lova Pet put it on here. I'm going to put the link after I'm done. Thank you, because I have the link. Thank you. It's The Woman He Loved. That movie is a twin movie. When a man does not take his kingship because she could not be with the woman he loved, that's a twin flame. Once you meet your twin, there is nothing. There isn't anything that can make you there isn't any one you could ever be with again, because it's such a perfect piece of the puzzle. It's weird. I know it sounds crazy, but for all of you who know what I'm talking about, you know it's the truth. It is. You've got to pull the roots of your karmic relationships and your soulmates. You have to pull the roots. When I went into the ether, I pulled 2 roots. I don't even know that I directly knew one was Kirk, but I pulled 2 roots. The other one is Nazi. Like I said, I did it. The first one was tougher because that's him. That's my Nazi. I could tell because the roots were so deep. The second one was, now I know, I assume it was Kirk by the way that he reacted when I did it. Because as soon as, and again, I was pregnant in the realm, and I knew I had to pull. And if you know me, Fleur Brune, I would never take. I don't ever take. I never mess with trees. I love trees. I plant them. I plant everything. I'm an agriculturalist. I really love. I really love our green friends. I really do. So I pulled. I didn't meditate. I didn't do any of that. I was gonna come to you today. I was actually going to listen, family. When I talked to Paola last night, I was literally gonna come on today, do a little sit down visualization. See, this is what I'm saying. When you're about that life, it just happens. I was planning to do that today. I did it. Such a Sagittarius. I think not even Sagittarius do that. I just did it in the ether, almost like I'm gonna do it. I didn't plan to. I planned to do it today, but I did it in a dream state. And it basically, I talked to Paula. We were on the phone for a couple hours, and then I watched the amazing movie about twin flames. And then I went to sleep, and I pulled 2 roots out of 2 dead trees, and one I'm assuming was Kirk, and he was crying and he was upset at me, and I felt so bad. And I told him maybe he should plant them in his backyard again. Maybe he should plant one of the trees in his backyard. So oh, that's another thing. He went to go get the trees. He went to go get the 2 trees that I uprooted. He went, and then all of a sudden, like, water showed up. And I saw a mother swimming with a little girl. It's, quite symbolic. Swimming with the little girl, and the little girl was going underneath the water and coming up, and it was really beautiful. And Kirk had 2 trees, and I said, you can't carry both of those trees. And he picked them both up. He's strong as, listen, that Taurus. Big up to you, Tauruses. You Tauruses are the sexiest, strongest, most amazing signs. Yeah, you planting him in his yard. Yeah, he went to go get those trees and plant them in his backyard. It was the most beautiful thing, and he was picking them up. He's strong as an ox. He put one over his shoulder, the other one he was putting up, because it was like a piece of the root. How to pull the root. In this state, I literally did it energetically. Now, not energetically, I did it physically in the ether. So for me, I wanted to give you what I did. Yeah, Tauruses are sexy. Female and male. They're some of the sexiest signs. Taurus is like one of those signs. They're so earthy, but so family oriented. It's just, I'm not really compatible with so-called a Taurus, but I think everybody's compatible to a Taurus at one point or another. It's just the way they are. It's to me, from what I witnessed so far, it's amazing. So I just did it in the ether, pulling the roots like I would do at any tree, and I don't do this. So in my dream state, in my state, I pulled the roots out, and they were dead trees. The trees had no more leaves. Like I said, it was petrified. The tree was petrified. If you've ever seen dead trees, this is what it was. I pulled the roots out, and Kirk went out and went and got it, and he was going to go plant it. He probably went to go plant. He probably planted it, and the roots were already dried out. So I don't think he was going to be able to replant the roots again. He was trying to keep the roots in. I love my Taurus. I feel so bad though. I really feel bad. Am I dim? Can you guys see me? I'm sorry. Can you see me now? Is it too dark in here? Can you guys see me? I don't know. It may be dark because I'm sitting under the shade. Am I okay? I don't know if I'm okay. Can you see me? You can see me, right? Oh, Adriana Ross, how would it affect it in 3D? I don't know. I haven't talked to Kirk. I haven't talked to him. I haven't. I haven't heard from the narcissist, my Nazi. He hasn't called today. But Dim, I am Dim. I'm sorry. Um, yeah. Oh, helicopters. Listen, they know when we're talking about twinning. Twinning is one of those things they really are bothered by. Is talking about twins. Um, what is this? There. This is little. I'm outside. Okay. I don't know how it would affect him. I don't want to even call him because I don't really. We're going to do the twin flame thing. I don't really want to encourage him. I don't want to encourage him. When you start calling your exes, I don't want to call him because that'll encourage him. And then I don't want that root to be planted again because it was heartbreaking to take out the root. It just was heartbreaking. And if I call, I could tell you how it turns out because I can't vet it out before or unless they call, but I took out both roots. So we'll see within time how that ends up happening. And I know it's going to be hard, family, because some of you love your soulmates and your karmic mates. You do. I do. I love one. So, I got to keep it real with you. I wouldn't have done it myself. Like, I wouldn't have pulled Kirk's root out. I was only planning. This is how you know it was me on a higher level. I merged with myself. The Flurburn that you knew wouldn't have pulled out Kirk's. The Flurburn that you guys knew previous to the timeline convergence wouldn't have pulled out Kirk's root because I love him too much. And call it selfish. Call it selfish. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm really not perfect. You know already. But the person that I'm changed into, the convergence, has brought an aspect of Flurburn that's more rational and more spiritually astute. The Flurburn that I've become with the convergence had pulled at the roots without any. I just pulled them out, and I wouldn't have done it before. So I'm telling you, family, it made me feel a certain way. So according to Paola, she said you pull it from wherever you feel the root. You have to energetically see where that root is. So you know how you cut the cord? You see the cord and you cut it. Rather than cutting the cord, see where the cord is coming from. See where it's rooted. Is it rooted in your solar plexus? Is it rooted in your root chakra? Is it rooted in your heart? Where is it rooted? So when you're doing your meditation and you're sitting down and you're visualizing your cords, see where the cord is coming from. That's how you deroot it. That's what Paola was telling me. So that's how you pull out the root. You're going to have to do this before twin flame. If you guys are participating in the twin flame manifestation, it's my suggestion based on the intel coming in. I always feel universe always speaks to me in many ways, especially you always have what you need at the time you need it. I always get the answers or necessities right before I'm supposed to do something very strong, something very powerful. So you have to pull the cord. I mean, not the cord, but the root. You may have had the root. You may have had to pull those roots with Kirk in order for a stronger twin flame to enter. Could be. I didn't want to. I did it. And it was sad. It was very sad. And he was very upset. And I don't want to hurt him like that. It's not my intention. It was very sad. And even now I'm very emotional about it because I feel like I did it. Like I feel it. Like I feel like I pulled that actual root. And again, he went to try to plant. Kirk is a powerful man. He took both trees. My beautiful Taurus. I love you. He pulled both trees and he went to go try to plant it in his yard. My yardie went to go plant the roots back in his yard. So I feel like it's very pinnacle for you to do this. I'm so in love with the Capricorn for about 4 years. I know it's time to let go, but I'm scared. I'm scared and love him so much, and he knows I'm backing up, but I can't tell him, and it hurts. I agree with you, but was Kirk giving what you needed in order for it to grow? No, Solitary, he wasn't. Thank you, Solitary, for being very, you overstand that. That's why it wasn't flourishing. Those trees were dead. And I know what you feel, my love, with your Capricorn. We love people sometimes, and it's not rational. This is why I'm saying love sometimes just comes from a place. Sometimes we have these connections to them in past lives. In the past life, it was probably more flourishing in the past life. You know what I mean? So we have these connections to people that aren't always healthy for us. And no, yes, Kirk was not fulfilling my what was here. It wasn't right. It wasn't healthy enough. So the tree that I pulled was dead. There was bark, it was a dead tree, same with the other. So it wasn't right. But I'm saying sometimes we feel ways that aren't healthy and right. We're living in the matrix, and sometimes that happens where we have attachments to people. Even if they're unhealthy, we still want to keep them. Why are so many people wearing black and white today? Uh-oh. Are they wearing black and white today? I'm wearing green. I'm wearing green for the love of my twin flame, because I'm feeling my twin flame. I'm feeling my twin flame. So I'm just saying, I feel this, family, and it bothered me. So I'm sharing with you. Big up to Paola, who gave us the intel from the universe. And then I watched a twin flame movie, because that's what it is. This is definitive love. It goes beyond time and space. This is your true flame. It's something different than the archaic sexual, our sick version of love here. We love people on surface levels. Like if your mate lost a limb, some of you wouldn't love him anymore. Or you wouldn't love her if she wasn't pretty or if she gained weight. These are very archaic, root chakra, very shallow forms of love. We aren't loving people properly. We love them for totally, with conditions. Oh, I love you because of this. I love you if you do this. I love you if you fill me with ego propping up all the time. You know what I mean? We always love people from a very conditional standpoint. And I've loved unconditional because the only reason I can love people unconditional is my mom and dad. It's only because of my mom and dad. If I had to follow the standard of what goes on in the Matrix, I wouldn't love people like that. My mom and dad loved each other. They did. I feel like my dad and mom, I don't know that was my mom and dad's twin flame, but I feel like they loved each other so much and were so dedicated. That's all I've ever seen. And in my family, the people are married, even my older brother. The way that the men in my family love the women is what I love. And I know that that's the standard that I will accept. So that's why my standard of love is a little different, because I understand that. I've seen it. I've witnessed it, and I've lived under a roof with people who do. And I'm grateful for it. I've been grateful. I took it for granted when I was younger because I didn't really understand that wasn't the normal consensus of people. I didn't know because I was still in that family dynamics, but I appreciate that. So I know my worth, but I will love someone unconditionally that may not necessarily deserve that kind of love. I have, and I haven't loved many men. Okay, so I could say I've loved my husband unconditionally, and he nearly sucked me dry. He utilized my love for him in a way that was unhealthy. He just wanted someone who was sexy and pretty to fill him like a trophy. You know what I mean? He thinks I'm smart. He thinks I'm amazing. He thinks I'm one of the most amazing women, the smartest women on the planet. He says it to this day. That's how he feels. But he didn't love me in a healthy way. He came from a family where it was very abusive. He didn't know how to love me properly. So he wanted me to fill him, but really rarely fill me other than with material things. He'll buy me everything. My ex would buy me the world. He'll buy me anything. That's how he services love, but there's no love, no compassion. He doesn't have it in him. So is what it is. And, I allowed that because I just loved him. Because he showed me things I didn't know. I was a very homely kind of young lady. I grew up with island people. I loved that he was from the Bronx. I loved that he knew things. He showed me how to do things I didn't have access to. Like little things like he showed me how to be different. You know what I mean? How to be more. He taught me how to question everything. He told me not to accept anything. I appreciate that. But he was very archaic and very cruel to me. Very cruel, and I allowed it because I didn't really love myself too well, because I wouldn't allow him to do that if I really loved myself. Today is the first day of the 13-day cycle revolving around abundance and regeneration. Ah, thank you. Celestial Drip, we were supposed to talk about it on IG, but I was too busy watching that movie. He wanted to use your light to succeed. Yes, Solitary, he did. Empath, you're so on point. Solitary empath is really an empath. You're picking up, absolutely. You had a Nazi husband just like mine? Yeah, for 18 years. That's me. And I loved it. And I still would have been married to him. But it was so chaotic. I had my little ones and I was done. I was done. I love my babies. I'm very protective of little ones. And I was at mommy's, you know, my mother's a teacher, special ed for over 30 years in New York. I would always choose, remember, if I didn't do it for myself, I would have done it for my children. That kind of archaic behavior isn't healthy. It's like a trim. It will come back. Yes, MK. So pull the roots, family. This video, big up to Paola in Brazil. She's still in Brazil. I miss Paola. Me and Paola spent every day together for a month. She was like my twinsy friend. You ever have a twinsy friend? Look, I'm getting rashes on my skin. I went outside. Look, I get hives on my skin from going outside. She's my twinsy. Pull the freaking roots. Pull the roots out before tomorrow. I did it. It was very hard for me. I feel like, yeah, rest in peace to Kirk. I had to. He felt it. I won't know family because I'm not calling him and I'm not calling the ex. I'm not going to encourage them to come around me. I'm not, because then I want to see how energetically it shows up because I pulled the roots and Kirk was upset. So I'm just going to leave it be. Tomorrow's our twinsy manifestation and I felt like it was right on time. And I feel like instead of cutting cords, family, find out where the root is. Don't see it. If you don't see a dead tree, don't do it. I saw a dead tree, 2 dead trees, and I pulled them out. It was 2. You're not going to pull, if the tree is flourishing and so on, I don't think you're just supposed to pull them out because that means the contract is still up and standing and there's something from that root. I don't think you should pull out anything that isn't dead. I just happened to see dead trees. So I pulled them out. Okay, today is also Venus Day in Mayan astrology. Ooh, so that green. Venus Day, day of love. Well, we're in that love frequency. We're in that love. And if you love someone, you should be willing to love yourself first and love them enough to let them go. If they aren't servicing your highest and greatest good. Not like they have to give to you, but if it isn't a healthy relationship, let them go, family. We aren't allowed. We can't bring them through the pinnacle of where we're going. We're converging. We have to be in our highest and greatest self. If it doesn't service you in your heart space in a healthy way, meaning I'm not saying they have to do things for you or buy things for you, but it has to flourish your heart. You have to feel connection to your heart space. They have to feel like it's an effortless relationship. I love when Eartha Kitt's, you ever see everybody, it's like a rampant video on FB, on Facebook. Eartha Kitt, they ask her a question. Would you sacrifice or love? Or you compromise? Would you compromise for love? She was like, compromise? Compromise? Why would I compromise? Remember that video? She said, compromise. She was like, why would I compromise? Love is a choice. You know what I mean? Love is something beautiful. What would you make you, if someone loves you, you shouldn't have to compromise anything. It should be effortless. Compromise for what? That's what she said. I love that video. It's a beautiful, many of you saw it. You all saw it. It's a beautiful video. If love is some of the, and like I said, my parents, it was effortless, family. My dad and mom, and I didn't say they didn't fuss. You know, the island people were very soft-spoken. They used to fuss a little bit in the house, but it would be so loving. And then my father would come in the kitchen. My dad would wash all the dishes and stuff. My mother would cook. I love that I saw that. And he would come in the kitchen. Kirk did this to me as well. My husband used to do this. Maybe because of the way I am, because I have that same disposition, but they would always come behind me when I cooked and always say, great meal. You know, my husband would always say, great meal, dear. His aunt used to say, the only healthy people in his family was an aunt and uncle. And they used to make meals, and every time Aunt Sue would make a meal, Uncle Dave, this is my ex's uncle and aunt. Every time Aunt Sue would cook, Uncle Dave would go behind her and say, beautiful meal, Sue. Lovely meal, dear. And my husband would do the same. He would come behind me, say, really great meal, really wonderful meal. And then Kirk would do the same. I love that. I love that whole answer, but I saw that my whole life. And when a man is healthy for you, it's effortless. You don't have to chase him down. You don't have to worry about who he's looking at. You don't have to really question his motivation with you. the time he treasures your time, you treasure his. It should be very in sync with one another. The things that you do should flow easily and effortlessly. Like you should be okay, like going to the beach and doing stuff together. You know what I mean? It should be so effortless, so effortless. And I just think a lot of times we get caught up in these pseudo concepts of love, and these artificial intelligence type of promotions that they're not realistic. I love, let's say that, I'm not gonna say what I don't want. I love just chilling with with the man that I'm with, watching Netflix. I actually love that. I love having dinner. I love when we go out and we just do things like on cue. Like, okay, we feel like going to the beach today, let's just go. Put the blanket in the back, the chairs, and we just go. You know what I mean? Or like we just chill. It's so effortless. You know what I mean? I'm just grateful to know that. And I think each one of you has to be confident and loving of self to know that that is something the least you deserve is peace of mind with your mate. Peace of mind. Just peace of mind. There isn't a man who loves you who would hurt you. When someone's talking about even Nature Nut, okay, in Nature Nut, and the concept of him, and Ileana, the young lady who left, people are saying he loved her. He didn't love her. He loved what she represented to him, because when a man could want 50 million women. If he really loves you, if it bothers you that he's looking at other women, or if it bothers you that she left. If it bothers you that he looks at other women, or he's trying to sleep with other women, he'll stop because he wants to please. He doesn't want to hurt you. That's love. So if I have a mate and me flirting with other men, because I'm a Sag, we flirt. This is one of the biggest issues. I don't know if the color's really bad. I don't one of the big things with Sagittarius is we flirt a lot. That's just what we do. It's not intentionally. I think it's the nature of being just a fire sign. I don't know. It's just, but I've had when Kirk, Pisces too, flirt too. When Kirk said to me one time, because some of you, because I get approached by a lot of YouTube men, a lot of handsome men, and it can be disconcerting. And I'm a normal person. I'm not anything special. I just get approached a lot because I'm on social media. It bothered him. So I stopped. I stopped taking phone calls and, because I talk to people about ETs and stuff. I stopped doing all that because it hurt him. It bothered him. And it wasn't because he was controlling. It's just, I wouldn't like someone doing that either. So I felt like if it's hurting him, why would I continue to do that? Why? To hurt him? To disrespect them? Why? If it makes him feel uncomfortable, it makes him feel less valued, why would I continue to do something that makes him feel that way? If I love him, why would I want to do that? Okay, so that's it. So I'm saying now, love from a free point of view, and be okay with the man who shows up. Tell Kirk to worry about the Redskins. What's a Redskins? It's a game. What is that? A sports group? What in New York? Yeah, it should just be effortless. It should be effortless. I remember as a young girl when guys used to like you. I don't know, because I came from old school. I remember a boy used to like me. We used to go hold each other's hand in a park. I know that seems really archaic now, and I wore glasses. And I remember walking in the park, and we kissed for like a second. And it was so beautiful, and it was so innocent, and it was just so awesome to walk in the park with someone you really liked. Like, even the park looks so beautiful because you're walking together. Like, even when you're so content and cool with someone, we would just sit and watch people and just sit and just not even say anything. You know what I mean? I love holding hands. I love that old school, like, I used to like to put my feet up, because if you know me, I put my feet up in my truck. It's many men who know me, you'll know Florboon by me putting feet. I do feet on, it's weird. I do a feet thing. I love sitting in the park, putting my feet on their lap and just chilling. Not in the lap, you know, like my legs across. I don't know. That's like, I used to see girls do that back in the days. I don't see them do it anymore. Like we used to put our legs, sit on the park bench, and you put your legs, it's not sexual. It's like put your legs on the guy, but we're sitting together. Almost like it's cool. Right, Crow? You feel the same? You hear the crow? I love that. I love that my twin is like that. I do. I love when my twin cares if I'm sad. He cares if I'm worried. When he knows, I love that about him. Yeah, nobody kisses like that anymore. Like I love kissing. I remember my glasses getting fogged up. Big up to all the glasses wearers. The crow is in the trees. Every time I talk to him, he stops. Remember all the glasses? I wore glasses. I wore big glasses. Guys used to think that was cute though. I did get a lot of props when I wore glasses. I didn't have a problem, but my glasses used to steam up when I kiss. Right? It was so cute. I appreciate that, and I want you young millennials. I know it's hard because you live in a more socially engineered environment, but that's important. Like, I just think we're moving past into an AI standpoint. Yeah, the crow was eavesdropping, right? I just think we're moving past that. So, what I wanted to say with this video, staying on topic, pull the roots out. Pull the roots out from where its origin is. If you see the cord and you're sitting down in meditation, I did this in the ether in sleep state because that's just what I did. But I did it not even, I just did it because I just in that state I knew I had to do it. I pulled them out because they were dead. Pull it out knowing and lovingly and respect and love it. And also, Paula said after you pull your root out from where it comes from, she said you're going to have to energetically heal the wound where it comes from. I think I haven't. I did it because I don't feel any way. I just feel bad for Kirk. I don't feel a way about the narcissist. So she said when you pull the root out from the origin, so if it's coming from your solar plexus, put your hand over it and heal it energetically and heal the wound, because there's going to be a wound there when you pull the root out. Okay, I forgot to tell you that. Pull the root out and then heal the wound. Okay, because we're going into this manifestation tomorrow fully clean and clear, and also this will help you to remove those relationships that aren't healthy and have fulfilled their karmic debt. So you aren't doing anything without integrity. This is all with integrity. Okay, so once you pull it out, pull out the root, heal the wound, and then we can get in tomorrow. You hear the wonderful helicopters. I feel like I'm in South Central LA in this piece. Never leave a gaping hole. Absolutely. Clear it out and heal it, family. It's necessary. This is the intel that we got prior to our manifestation tomorrow. For anyone who comes in the room, please put a like on the video. I'd appreciate it. The likes are actually, listen, I will give you props. And also for Pavel said, let me apologize again because I'm not doing it. You will be unsubscribed to my channel. This has happened for the last 5 years. I don't think I'm the only YouTuber though. But I'm the one who gets it more, obviously. So just, you know, if you ever have that, I'm not removing you from my YouTube. I don't really do that. The only time you see me block someone if they're being heinous to people in my group, because I'm pretty open-minded. So, you know, I love the likes, because the likes are actually allowing for my video to be more valued. So I appreciate it. It's really you doing that. So I really appreciate it for you to like my videos. Thank you. And try to be very strong and unapologetic when you pull the roots. Be strong, family. We are in 5D relationships aren't hurting relationships. That's a 3D that's a 3D quality. That's one of the 3D things. Being hurt, being in relationships, that old fairy tale, like being hurt, tragic love stories. That's all 3D. That's all 3Ds. Okay? So make sure that you realize that having a 5D plus relationship allows for you, Osset's video, I shared it. I didn't watch the whole video. I have to watch it today. I saw some of her video. Big up to Osset. said it's going to be at the conference. She's a bomb.com. She's really, listen, her and Aluna, it's amazing because the wave that we're in, we're in the same frequency. I love it. I love it. This is nice too, because it's kind of like you get to a point where you have valuable information coming from all arenas, and that's where I appreciate it. You really do. So be appreciative to a lot of these sea stars, because a lot of sea stars, you know, they have family and stuff, and they really come on here not as a way to ploy anyone. It's just really to share. They're really doing an amazing job, really helping, assisting those, being a lantern of light to assist those who are right there. Y'all are there. Nobody, well, everybody on my channel. I could just vet out for who's on here with y'all. Y'all are the bomb. We sit out here, you share just as much. So I have to give you guys props too. So you guys are the bomb.com. There, if you're sitting with me, because a lot of times with me, that's why I don't make a big deal about who's on my channel. If you're coming and you can sit and jive with me a little bit, it just means you're on the same frequency, because I'm really quirky. I talk all over the place. It's really difficult if you come here and you're not used to my personality. I'm very weird. I'm a strange person in the neck of what people mostly are used to. So, I mean, it's very difficult. Like someone said on the feed yesterday, I guess they were recommended from somebody else's channel, and they were like, I really like your intel, but you're all over the place. Can you focus? If that's a problem for you, I'm not for you. It comes with me. And believe me, I'm focusing a lot more than I normally can. I focus in other ways, but when I'm on here, it's just kind of like, I don't edit my videos. I just talk to you. I'm talking like I would talk to you in real life. I'm not going to really change that aspect about myself, because I think it's disregarding and disrespectful to come on someone else's channel and tell them to change the aspect of who they are. It's just who I am. I'm quirky. That's why only people who come here who can deal with me are probably like quirky like me. I'm just weird. When I say weird, I'm just weird in the realm of I'm just really who I am. When you meet me on the street, this is who you meet. And I talk just like this. And I'll respond just like this. You won't meet anyone else. It'll be me. Okay, so, you know, I just say, if you come here and I'm your cup of tea, then you chill with us. If I'm not your cup of tea, I never disrespect you. There are other channels that are more your cup of tea. And I say, if I'm not your cup of tea, there's always others there's tons of people on YouTube that someone else might relate to. Absolutely. There's some phenomenal people that are stringent in how they talk. They stay on topic. You can get the intel. But if you come here, this comes with it. It's almost like, you know, we eat, like if you eat curry, you know, if you get curry on your clothes, you know it's going to stain, but you like the taste of curry anyway. So you just take the possibility, the plausibility that this curry just might stain your mouth or your hands or your clothes. That's what I am. I'm like a curry dish. I appreciate it, and I love you too. And I appreciate y'all just as much as you appreciate me. I appreciate it. I know my crow is talking to me. It's the same crow that followed me from Starbucks. Oh, someone's getting a delivery. I think my package is coming. Hold on. Let's see what the FedEx guys, the UPS guys are really handsome. Let's see what the FedEx guys look like. Hold on. Oh, it's the wrong house. You're not bringing my pack? No, the FedEx guys don't look like the UPS guys. What's up with that? Why the UPS guys? Like, what do they have like what do they do to hire them? Because FedEx guy looks like a normal guy. But the UPS man, it's like they purposefully are placing these handsome, strong, pharaoh. Let me behave. I'm joking. No, I'm really not. Yeah, I sidebar. I do that. I tell you, like I'm saying, I try to stay as focused as possible. It's very difficult, especially, yeah, they're handsome, right? The UPS. I don't know why. Hotness is required. I don't know who does the hiring. No flirt. I'm not flirting. I'm just noting. Oh, flirt. I don't do that anymore. I'm really respectful. You are 100% flirt. It's just about getting the cosmic message from your intuition. I just come from me. And all the intel I give you is from what I know personally. I rarely give you intel, like even with Thomas. The only reason I can give you stuff from Thomas is because I'm close to Thomas. So I vet things out based on me. Like Thomas was already telling me things that I was in alignment with. I just didn't know what was happening. With me, more of the intel is coming from an internal and my galactic connection, like as far as me. I don't do meditations. I don't really go into groups or channel. That isn't me. Everything that I get is from me, from vetting it out based on how I research things, and also what internally comes within me. That's it. It's just what I do. But when I learn something new, I'm okay to say I learned something new. And what did he say yesterday? Oh, Thomas did call. Thomas called late. He was at the office until he called at 8:30 and I had to call him back. No, I was on the phone with Paula. Whatever time I was on the phone with Paula, because I told him I'd call him back after I got off the phone with Paula, because we're talking from Brazil. So I wanted to talk to her. But afterwards, he was saying that I told him what I was feeling. Like I said, I saw I was having Mandela effects. You know, Thomas is a little more grounded and all this fluff up. That's why I say I respect his intel, because he's not excited like me. I'm excited all over the place. Like, oh, Thomas, oh my God, there was things that changed. He was like, it's going to take a couple hundred years before you actually see anything, right? That's what he said to me. I said, well, I'm seeing. He said, well, you're highly sensitive, so you're actually noticing it. He said most people won't notice it for another incarnation. I was like, okay, but I'm noticing it. That's how he talks. That's how Thomas is. He's very rational. That's why when he gives me intel, it's so much more valid based on he isn't that type of person. He's not the type of person who's so overly excitable that he just kind of embellishes things. It isn't his personality. So when he told me the intel, when he gave me the intel, just on who he is makes it legitimate. You know what I mean? So that's what I love about that. So he was great. He was right on point. Did you see the big explosion in the middle of Milky Way? Did you see that? I think I shared the video on Twitter. I know many of you don't know I'm on Twitter. I'm on these weird things. I don't even know how I got on Twitter. I know I have a Twitter account, and every once in a while, I don't even know when I got the Twitter account. That's not a Mandela effect. That's just me being old school. Social media, we didn't have all this when I was younger. We had beepers. We had beepers, and the cell phones we had. Yeah, I got a Twitter. Yeah, it's crazy. My Twitter family, they're a whole bunch of different. That's what I'm saying. Flurburn walks in different worlds, and I don't even know how I get there. But people know me from Twitter in a whole different way. I don't even know. You follow me on Twitter, right? I just share random things on Twitter. So I have different people on Twitter than I have here. Yeah. I don't really pay attention to social media like that. I join it on the nature of me sharing and just knowing that's what I'm to do. But I really don't really pay attention to things like that. I told you, I only went on IG because we were talking about Nature Knot. And it just so happened that they were messing with my feed all the time. So I had a little IG account, so I just go on there and vent. So that's how some of you know me from there. Then I would talk on other people's platforms, and people would come on there. They didn't even know I was Flurburn on YouTube. That's what I'm saying. I'm very ominous. Is that the correct word? Ominous, and how I show up. I don't really care. I just walk in rooms. I don't announce who I am. Oh, I'm not a big YouTuber. That's what's his name said. He was like, I'm a big YouTuber. I'm not. I don't want. I tell people if I share things on IG and they don't know, I know sometimes IG people don't know I'm on YouTube. So I just tell them sometimes that I'm on YouTube, because some of the videos I'll try to share, I'll say, well, I'm on YouTube if you don't know me from there. And then they'll go there and they'll realize, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were on YouTube, because they're not from that neck of the woods. I have different people. That's why I walk in different platforms. I don't really announce anything. I just come as I am. I don't really have to make a big announcement. If you like me there, you like me anywhere. That's what I'm saying. I'm in a lot of people's feeds. Like, I like certain people on YouTube. I just talk. I don't care if they know what I talk about or so on. I like them. I don't know if the feed is working. Is it working? Aluna sent you there? Aluna's been rocking with me for years. I love Aluna. A Luna is energetically sound. That's what makes you a Luna really, really legitimate. She's sound spiritually, um, and humble. Sound and humble. You know what I mean? So, and energetically, she shows up with a field that makes it more, it's like an angelic field. That's how you feel with a Luna. It's very angelic. You know, when people talk about angelics and so on, she has that angelic field on her. So when she's talking, it's beautiful. It's almost like harmonic. You feel her legitimacy. You feel the integrity, and you feel the spiritual connection with her. That's what makes her nice. And it's not corny and it's not fake. It's her. It's really who she is. That's it. So that, you know, so that's what I'm saying. I'm getting rashes. Look at this. They probably got the chemtrails 10,000 on. I get rashes on my arm. Or it could be scratches. Did I just scratch my arm? Elena sent me to your page. Did she really? I appreciate it. And let me tell you, family, I will say things sometimes. I remember one time, and this is why I say I always have to reintroduce myself, because when you come to this channel, we talk about everything, and I'm really balanced. I'm unafraid, because I'm a woman of a certain age, so I'm unafraid of things that some people would feel like are social media suicide. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm healthy. I hang out with everyone, every culture. I speak another language. I come from foreign people. I see from the perspective of a mother. I'm so balanced in that way. But I keep it real. I keep it real. Like even when in New York, I told you, I had a fight with a with a draconian. I was like, I failed. You know, I was pregnant at the time. You know, someone comes with my cubs. It wasn't really a fight. I warned her. I warned her, you don't come up on me when I'm pregnant and I'm with my cubs, because that's when Fleur Brune reintroduces herself as, you remember I told you I merged with the assassin Fleur Brune in the timeline collapse. You gonna meet the assassin, because I'm protective of all babies, baby animals, baby people. I protect all cubs. And one thing you won't do with me and feel like you can is come up on anyone's children, anyone's animals or anything, because you will be dealt with. I'm really balanced. Like that's something that I have to tell people, because sometimes they'll come in and be like, ooh, she's aggressive. I'm only aggressive when it comes to protecting the cubs. What I am in animals is just one, and trees. Everything, actually, insects. I do it everything. But when you challenge something like that, I'm a warrior. And remember, I'm in contact with warrioress Andromedans who are about that life. So, you know, I remember someone came on a feed. I was like, I didn't know what I was walking into. They were like, I thought you were all love and light. Don't get it twisted. I am. But I am balanced. I am a warrioress when I have to. I protect my people. I do, and myself. I will every time. I will do it to my last breath. That's how I showed up in this matrix. But I'm appropriate. See, not a vegan, not a vegan says the same thing. It's part of being a mother though too, but I'm very strong-willed. You know, there's certain things I'll tolerate, but children coming around me and children and pregnancy isn't something I'm really loving during pregnancy, but I'm super sensitive spiritually, just empathically. So when someone comes up on me when I'm pregnant, I'm empathic. I've already picked up their frequency before they even come near me. So I already know someone's intent. So when I feel it, it's almost, you know, I'm protective. But, you know, I think that's the nature of being a female. Oh, the black hole. Did you guys see the black hole with the spark in it, the big explosion? That's what we got. Now, Thomas, I forgot to share that. Thomas had told me that was going to happen with the with that group. Zoroastrians, whatever their name is. He told me that would happen, and then, hey, Melanated High Priestess, and then when it happened, right before we went into the convergence, everything with the comments and everything, it was amazing. So the intel that Thomas gave us was 1000% on, and that explosion that happened in the middle of the black hole, in the middle of the Milky Way, that's actually what he said it was going to cause the folding of that's what caused the convergence to happen in the way it did, the collapse of the timelines. That's what did it. So I love it. Like I said, I merged with all the aspects of myself. It was like a Sybil moment. Remember? Remember with Sally Fields? The incorporation of all the personalities, they were all meeting each other. We had a Sybil moment. All of our timelines are now converging. They're all collapsing on top, going into that straight line. We're having the Sybil moment. So the version of you that was over there, you're meeting her. The version of him that's over there. Some of you are have male versions of yourself too in other timelines. Like you may be more male-like. You may show up as a male. That's merging with you. So that's why you may feel more balanced. I feel more balanced, family. I do. I just, oh, Sybil. I feel more balanced with my mind, body, and spirit. Sometimes I used to splinter a little bit because I feel like, okay, I'm really, really righteous in certain ways, but I would be imbalanced. Like imbalanced in a way, fractured a little bit. So sometimes I would know so much. And this is where I don't think I struggled as much, but it was there. I knew so much in the realm of spirituality, consciousness, sacred geometry, supreme mathematics, celestial information, occult information. I knew so much, but it was imbalanced sometimes, like fractured. Because when you know better, you're supposed to do better. But there was times when I would fold in the midst of a scenario because it was just like, I almost felt like it was like a burden sometimes, you know what I mean? I don't know if you ever feel that way. Like a burden, just a little bit like a burden. Like, you know, so much is like, darn, I have to always be this way. I felt that, but now as from probably since the fast, I've been more balanced, but during this convergence from yesterday, I feel whole. I do. I feel whole. That's it. I can make a decision now and just, okay. That's it. We needed that. We really did. And it's okay. It's okay. So the convergence will allow you to be more of who you are in a more holistic way, unapologetically. That's it. And we needed to merge. You needed to merge with the other splintered aspects of yourself. You did. Because we were walking around splintered all the time. There were other aspects of you that were splintered into other parts of the parts in your life when you made a crossroads decision, and one aspect of you went to college and one of you didn't. You were splintered. So there was an aspect of you that maybe didn't go to university. You were living a different life. Maybe you were working in a different kind of job. You were that person too. Maybe you had a struggle because of that. So you were struggling in those other timelines. That's the splintering part. So you never realized in your life why you were always feeling splintered. Why you always felt like, why don't I feel whole? I made all these decisions. Why do I don't feel solidified in it? Because you were splintered in other forms of yourself. Other parts of yourself were coexisting at the same time as you, living in fractured aspects of those choices that you made, those different frames. And now those frames have collapsed, or collapsing, because it takes a while, because I'm noticing it's a process. It's collapsing on top of each other, and now you're going to be singularity within yourself. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm grateful to be here. I hope you're grateful to be here on planet Earth and to be an Earthling. It's notably something that we should really value, because many beings want to be where we are right now, and that's why they're trying to possess 90% of the people here with all of the Phil Good. Phil Good is thebomb.com. Hey Phil, where's Phil? Phil's usually on live on IG. Big up to Phil. Phil Good is another amazing person, another energetically astute being. You know, he's giving you transmissions all the time, really working that light. You know what I mean? Just really pulling people through. He really is. He really is. Unapologetically, unwavering. Those are light beings. You know what I mean? These are the celestials that come incarnated in this version of Earth and really are putting in the time. They really are. These are like the commanders in the celestial realms, you know, on their Earth, on their other planets. These are like the ambassadors that come here incarnated in Earth, putting in time to help Mother Tiamat ascend, because she's sentient. The Earth is sentient. She is a being. She is a living, breathing being. We are living on top of a sentient being. And some of the people here are so disrespectful. Some of them have come here, they're not respecting her terrain. They're coming here being fracking her, cutting her, being disrespectful to her, to her coat. It's really disgusting. And this is why there are earth changes. This is why we have a shift. This is why the pole shift is more than just a shift in magnetic field. It's that, but it's an energetic shift that disallows those who aren't matching the vibration and those fleas that are infesting her surface to be cleared off. She energetically knows you. If you notice, when you're sound with Mother Tiamat, she protects you. Do you know how many times a hurricane has come through Florida and people are calling saying, how you doing? I'm here with the girls, family. Listen, I'm here at my little girls on my own. I am. And I do everything myself. And hurricanes have come through. You know what happens? I'm planting flowers, and gratefully, there isn't anything that phases me. She knows I love her. I do things beyond even what I need to, because I love her and I appreciate her giving so much beautiful life to us. I do. And it sounds corny, but I'm so in love with where I live. I love Earth. I really appreciate Earth. I may have issues with all of these different kind of species that come on this planet, or disrespectful, that come here and they abuse her children, they abuse her daughters, because we're the daughters of Earth. We're the earthling daughters. And they're so disrespectful. They colonize this planet and they've abused the females, the original females on this planet, and they've ciphered off of her, they rape her children. I mean, Mother Earth has gone through a lot. She is ascending. It's what she's always done. She is now permeating and ascending to higher realms of, she's going to become almost like what is it? Like a star, like a star. She'll become a star at one point, like when she keeps going. That's like the Earth, the planets are beings, so they have their own hierarchy of things. She's amazing. I look at Earth sometimes, I say, you rock. You know what I mean? You rock. The most beautiful trees, animals walking and grazing. We live on a beautiful planet. Don't you ever believe anything different. Don't let them tell you anything different. We live on an amazing planet. It's just the beings you may have an issue with. It isn't her. It's the beings. Yeah, she's heating up. It's almost like, when children get a fever, it's getting rid of everything, the pestilence. Because heat is heaven. Cold is death. Okay? Cold is hell, heat is heaven. If you realize, when Earth cools down, you get a lot of demonic beings. When Earth heats up, only the higher energies can survive heat. That's why when a child gets a fever, all the viruses and parasites eventually at a pinnacle point, when a child's fever peaks, everything dies except what's healthy for that body. So if heat is bothering some of these beings, it's because they aren't native to her. Anything that's native to Earth Terra, to a Tiamat, can tolerate the heat. That's just what it is. When you get cold, if you ever go to the hospital, it's always cold because a lot of dead people. Cold represents death and stagnation and petrification. That's death. When stuff starts getting cold, you should be concerned. A lot of beings love the cold. A lot of these diabolical beings go in places where it's only freezing, where it's really cold. That's how they feel comfortable. The heat is where it's at. And you can tell a lot about a being who can't tolerate the heat. Now, hospitals there's a lot of death in hospitals, hospice situations. They don't clear. Hospitals are beautiful places to get healthy, but they need to have spiritualists go in there and clear spaces, because there's a lot of people who have died who don't realize they're dead, and they get stuck. There's vortexes. Plus you have, you've heard about the, whenever you go in for an MRI, that machine holds people. It holds them hostage. So a lot of the energetic people who aren't crossing over, they get stuck because there's machines in there using magnetic energy, almost like a mini CERN, and it's collecting souls. So people are stuck in like in a lot of the magnetic machinery in hospitals, the MRI machine. You know, if you talk to people who do MRIs, they'll tell you some freaky things that they see inside the MRI machine or around it. Okay? Yeah, you got to be careful because people have to help. Sometimes crossing over is hard. That's why you're not supposed to take a dead body out of the house for 3 days. That's actually a very indigenous thing to do. You're supposed to have the body of your loved ones in the house because sometimes they don't realize they passed. So it gives them time to actually realize that they passed. And it also gives the time for, if a body's soul comes back, it gives them an opportunity to come back. That's the reason why they're trying to keep you from burying your dead. That's why they perpetuate you getting your family burned, incinerating their bodies. Because when you bury a body inside of the land, you give it back to the land. There's a healthy karmic recycling process that occurs. And also for reincarnation, it helps to have the memory inside of that particular geo land. That's why they empty your blood out, because that's frequency, so you can't be remembered. So I personally, you know, this is why it's disgusting, because they're making it so impossible for people to take their loved ones. That's why I say, if your loved ones are passing, if you are healthy, and if you can, because they're making it very difficult, they have all these laws, you keep them in the house for 3 days. People are like, oh, that's disgusting. It isn't. If you're healthy, that's your family. You keep them in the house for 3 days. People come and say goodbye to their aunt. They come and say goodbye to their family. You know, the children can sit with their mom or their dad. You know, it's a beautiful process. And then you bury them in like linen or natural. You know, it's usually some of the natives do like you know, almost like it looks like a mummy. You wrap them and you bury them underneath it. I'm burying my mom underneath the tree. I couldn't do it with my father, and you know, I was pissed off. But I'm burying her underneath the tree. I'm going to do it. So, you know, that's how we're supposed to bury. You don't take blood out of a body. That's sacrilegious. And you don't let strangers touch your family. That's the only thing I had a problem. Shroud them. Thank you, Celestial. That's it's the only thing I had a problem with my father. I didn't feel like strangers. Even they were wonderful. I went to the funeral home. I told you my father, he flickered the lights and he had the sparkle on his cheek. It was the most beautiful thing. I told my mother, he wanted that. And I was like, I didn't want my father cremated at all. I wanted him. My grandmother's not going to be cremated because she told us we're not allowed to. She's going to be buried with with her parents. We have them all buried. My grandmother's 102 going on 103. She has a place. She already purchased a place where she's going to be buried next to my great-grandparents, who are buried in the same place. So we're burying her with my great-grandparent. My grandmother is being buried with her great-grandparents, with my great-grandparents. So we already have that place, but my father didn't want that. So I just feel like it isn't right. Cremation is a damnation, and it disallows from the soul to properly. It's a abomination. It's my opinion. It's abomination to the body to allow somebody to incinerate your family. It's my take, and I don't want to offend anyone because some people get offended. It's my take. This is totally my opinion. I know this is very sensitive to many people, and I feel like my family. I have a right to take my family and bury them myself on a proper land where I can visit them and they can be part of the earth. Is how I feel. Some people like to put their family in the ocean. That's another thing. So it's just, I don't think we're allowed that right. So that's what I'm going to do. It is. You have a stranger come and take your family, and then they desecrate the body. This is a stranger. You know what I mean? Stranger. Taking the body of your family and burning them, incinerating them. I just, yeah. Don't get me started, because you know I'm really sensitive about that. It's one of the things I'm very righteous about. Yeah, you got to go back to earth. They take all the blood out, all that process of pulling out the blood so they won't be connected to the land. You think they're not doing that purposefully? Blood is frequency. They take that blood out because they don't want the land remembering that family, that lineage, and then they get stuck. No, you let them go. There's a process of death that's natural. That's why you don't see animals going and dying in a case. Why are you putting your family in a box? Oh, for sanitary reasons? What's unsanitary? Earth is, when we pass, we go in the earth. Everything's, it's part of composting. The body becomes part of the land again. It's a process. The breaking down, the decomposition, the worms, everything, that's part of the decomposition. It's part of Earth. It's part of what we're supposed to go through, the cycle of our life. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. We have to start to get back to who we were. We're remembering. Your mom had a plot paid for from time, and my dad sold it and cremated her instead. Yeah, Fidgy girl. You know what I mean? You understand, because we talked about this. I'm making a conscious decision with my mom. She's great. Big up to my mom. I'm grateful she's has a wonderful recovery. But I love her, and I want to visit her, and I want her to be part of a tree. And I want my lineage, I want to be able to visit my mother whenever I want to. And have my children and her grandchildren and her great grandchildren have a tree, a mother tree that's grown for centuries. I'm going to do it. And we can visit that tree, and my mother is part of that tree. It's not a tombstone, a freaking stone. Who puts a stone? Don't get me started. See, this is when people say Florvern goes on tangents. I'm sorry. I'm just emotional about it because that's how I feel. And every time I talk about it, I get very, oak tree. I get very emotional about it because I see the diabolical behavior of non-humans making these laws to desecrate our families, to desecrate it. In Judaism, you go without a closet straight to the earth. Oh, wow. See? Without a closet. Thank you. Animals usually go to the woods. Exactly. A flowering tree. I love it. And a beautiful tree. Oh, please. Oh, if anyone comes in, please like the video. I appreciate it if you do it, because YouTube is noticing that my videos are getting likes, and it's all because of you. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in and liking the video. I do. Yeah, so anyway, so we were talking, for those stepping in the room, I know I went all off. Start talking about death. But this is what I'm talking about. It's like we as the beings on this planet, Earthlings, we have to start coming back. We're going into 5D plus. You can feel it. We converged. But I was talking about tomorrow, before we do our twinning manifestation, pull the roots out of those dead trees. That's why we got in a conversation. I forgot. Pull out the roots of the dead trees. Paola, big up to Paola, talked to me yesterday, and she was saying, she was listening to a woman who was saying, you keep cutting cords and they keep growing back. You got to go to the origin, to where those cords where they're coming from, the origin of where the cords are being grown from. So you go to the root of the problem. If your relationship has now served its purpose, which most of us have already fulfilled our contracts with our relationships, our old relationships. In order to twin, those relationships have to be fulfilled. Once you fulfill your karmic, which all of you already did, I'm almost positive most of you already did. That's why everybody's breaking up. Everybody's breaking up who isn't with their person. You go to the root. So you go energetically. I did it in my ether state, in my dream state last night. I didn't even intend to do it. I intended to do it today. But my higher self, because I merged with myself, did it last night, and I pulled two trees that were dead, petrified trees, and I pulled those roots out. I knew one was my ex, but I didn't know one was Kirk. And Kirk felt it right away in the ether, because he came to me crying. So I pulled the roots. I had to do it. Pull the roots out from where it came. It may come in a solar plexus. I don't know where it is in your body. You may have the root and many of us have the roots in our lower loins, in the what is it? The root chakra. The root chakra. Oh, snap. I just thought about that. That's probably where all the roots are. Pull the roots out. And then she was saying that once you pull the root out, it's going to take a tug. Don't feel, you got to do it energetically. I did it last night, and I didn't really intend to do it in that ether state, but my higher self is there. You're going to pull it during your meditation. And when you pull it out, there's going to be a hole or a wound. Heal the wound with your hand. Heal it, because you got to heal the wound too. So you pull the root and heal the wound. This is your homework today before we do our manifestation of our twin flames tomorrow. Could you imagine how amazing? This is the universe giving us the information. You always have what you need at the time you need it. We just got some intel for what we're to do to allow for actual twinning. Pull the roots out, family. And two trees that I pulled out were dead. There was no more leaves. They weren't trees that were living anymore. Even the roots were dry. So these trees were already gone. They weren't serving a purpose. I pulled them out because they were just keeping space and taking up space, and they had no purpose. They weren't flourishing anymore. They had already died. So almost like having dead roots in you that are just taking up space. You pull those roots out and you heal it, you have space for a beautiful new implanted root and cord that'll be flourishing. That's your twin flame. Twin flame. So let's get it on and popping today. Pull those roots out. Pull them out. Dude, sit down. I don't know when you're going to do it. Do it later on today. Sit down, do it consciously, make sure you do it. And like I said, it was very, very hard for me to pull out the root of that. I pulled out the roots fine. When I saw Kirk's reaction to it in the ether, it hurt me because he was so sad and he wouldn't let me go. He was just holding on to me, very sad and crying. And he went, and I told him, you know, because I was in the state and I felt so bad, I told him he can go plant it in his backyard. So he went to go get it. And he picked up both trees and he went to go plant it in his yard because I pulled out his root. And that's how you know it wasn't right. I pulled it. I wonder if he planted it. I'll know in a couple days if he calls. Yeah, he planted it. Yeah. So big up to Paula who gave us this intel. I always give props to the intellists. You know, because we needed to know this before the twin flame manifestation tomorrow, because many of you are already ready for that. We had to do the root work. When you do the root, you're going to sit down and concentrated state. I'm not a meditator, but I know I was going to do it today. I've done meditation, but I just don't do that anymore. I don't really, obviously I didn't have to because I did it last night. But you're going to sit down in meditation and you're going to envision the cords. Get the cords. You're going to envision those cords. Remember, many people were cutting the cords. The cords were going to keep growing because you didn't get to the root of it. So you're going to see the cords and you're going to follow energetically. You're going to see where the cord is coming from. Where is it coming from? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in your root chakra? I feel like it's in the root chakra. You see it, you identify it, and you energetically pull it until you feel. You got to feel it. Many of you are really amazing meditators. So you know what this is. You pull that sucker. You're going to feel it being pulled. And once you pull it out, it depends on how many roots you have to pull. You may have to go weeding today, literally. And once you pull it out and you pull out all the roots, make sure you heal that wound. It's almost like you're doing a psychic surgery on yourself. Okay? Get those roots out of those old stoic relationships which you fulfilled that karmic debt. And these are just roots sitting in you because you haven't pulled them out, or they're just sitting there just taking up space. Pull them out. And then tomorrow we're going to bring in, remember, what we take out, we fill up with something more positive and more serving. That's what we're going to do. It's amazing. We're living in amazing times, family. Hey, Marcus. Lovely. Pull the roots out with a grateful heart. That's right. Thank you, evolutionary transformation. Evolutionary transformation says, lovingly pull the roots out with a grateful heart. They have served their purpose, but now it's time for them to go. No judgment. Then lovingly heal the wound. Thank you. Evolutionary. Listen, I want to pin this comment. How do I pin your comment? How come I can't pin it? I want to pin your comment. That's beautiful. She just basically said it. Let me read it again. She says, lovingly pull your roots out with a grateful heart. They have served their purpose, but now it is time to let them go. No judgment, then lovingly heal the wound. That's beautiful. I love it. Absolutely. And that's what you do, without judgment, with love. Because they did. That root was set there to teach you something spiritually. You gained something from it. But now it's time to pull it out because it's not serving, it's served its purpose. Pull it out lovingly and then heal your wound. I love that. Thank you for that, evolutionary. That's beautiful. So eloquently stated. So I hope this is going to be helpful. I know everyone's like, oh, darn. And I was watching, like I said, I'm going to put the movie link in there. I'm going to put the movie link in there to the movie, the Twin Flame movie. If you can muster it. It may not be everybody's movie cup of tea, but it was a Twin Flame movie. He loved her, right? Is that what it's called? He loved her. I'm going to put the Oh, I didn't know I can't pin in the chat. You see, Flurburn is so, archaic a little bit, and social media. Um, if you like this type of movie, I was Paula suggested it. She gave me the link. It's free on YouTube. I'll put the link. My gosh, it was so beautiful. And like I said, for anyone coming in, it was a king. He wasn't a king yet. He was a duke. He fell in love. There were two. It's a twin flame story. He was a duke. He was married. This is an American woman. Her husband was like a successful businessman. She met him, went to the castle, just met him by chance, and they knew each other. They were twin flames. They recognized each other. This man decided his father died, he was to be king. He gave up his kingship because he could not be king without the love of his life family. This is a twin flame movie. When you are with your twin, there isn't anything that could hold you back from them. They couldn't ever be apart. When you meet your twin, it is like once you meet them, there isn't any piece of that piece of the puzzle fits, and there isn't anything after it. That's what that is. So twinning isn't just a phenomenon; it is a reality, and it's occurring in mass droves. And if you want to vet it out, because some people, again, there are people who may not be on this twin flame, and that's okay. But just know that if this wasn't occurring, why are all relationships dissipating all together during a time when we know, I already told you, there's about to be a huge twin flame conjunction March 11th of next year, 2020. Supposedly, we're going to see how it goes through. But that's when, the Aquarius song, when the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter is aligned with Mars. Okay. And then we talked about I told you about the conjunction that happened in the dark crystal. Okay, so I feel that this information, I feel like I know that this is when it's going to happen, the convergence. That's why everyone's breaking up, because you got to heal those wounds now. We got to clear that space for twin flames. Everybody's breaking up. 20-something year marriages, people that were that were totally married who seemingly were in love, they're all done. It's dissipated. Those contracts have been satisfied. It is time for you to clean yourself and clear yourself and heal yourself and allow for twinning to come on easily and effortlessly. Remember, during the scene with the dark crystal, right before the convergence, the mystics left the forest and did their trek to the castle, the stoic, decrepit castle, the Skeksis, who were living there doing dark, diabolical things. That was their twins. And there wasn't anything that could stop them. Anything. Because it was inevitable. This is twinning. Inevitable. There isn't anything that's going to keep you from your twin. It's inevitable. So we're just going to stay in alignment and allow for this process to be a little easier. You can only change what you acknowledge. And if you acknowledge that it's a plausibility that you could have a twin, or you do have a twin, many of us who have twins already are doing this. And this will also vet out if that's your twin. So let's say my twin, the gentleman that I'm with, big to him. He's so amazing. I love him. He's not perfect, but he's perfectly imperfect. That's what I appreciate about him. It's amazing. So I vet him out as my twin. This ceremony, this manifestation will vet it out. And I'll know if he's definitively my twin, because during the conjunction, that should be the one who comes through. So I don't really have to waver on this. Like, okay, is this my twin? Is this my twin? If people are wavering on that and you don't really know, then all of a sudden, when the convergence is happening, there isn't any way you wouldn't know. The twin is a twin is a twin. The twin will just show up. How do I meet him? I met him. You know what's interesting? I met him. My father, this is interesting. I had talked to him about it. When my father passed is when I met my twin. My father just passed away, and I was getting my mom to come. I don't want to tell too much because, I would keep his anonymity. So my father passed. Remember, my mother and father had been married a long time. They lived in New York. Remember, the house was there. My mother was there. And I wanted her, she's always lived with my daddy. So I wanted her to come live in Florida so she could be close to me. So I got her a condo not too far from me, and I was going to places to vet it out. I was at a place looking, and here he walks in. He sees me before I see him, and our eyes locked on one another. And I just had to turn and evade my look a little bit because I didn't want to look at him too long. Because it was too powerful. Like, I just saw him and I looked at him and I was like, nah. You know, I don't like to do that anyway. I don't like give men gaze like that because it encourages males. And even though he's handsome, it's not appropriate for me to keep a gaze of a man who's in admiration of me. So I just turned away, and I could feel him. Like, it was so weird because I felt like it was everywhere in my body. It was almost like I felt like I don't know, like an energy on me. And he made it a point to insert himself. I told you my twin flame is assertive. He isn't shy. He isn't. He's about this life. He wanted me in all kinds of ways, and he basically just talked to me, and it was so beautiful because he was such a normal person, like just a loving, very passionate man, so handsome. He's handsome. He's my cup of tea. I have a type, and he's my type. That's why I said you get pre-setups for your twin. You get people who are in your life who are prepping you for your twin. So they will always have qualities, little 1 or 2 qualities of your twin, setting you up to get you prepared because you subconsciously already know your twin. So you'll pick pre-twins that have qualities like the full twin. So he comes in, he's talking to me. I have this feeling in my body, and I'm ignoring it because I don't know what that is at the time. And we're talking, it's beautiful. He said, even at the day, he was like, you're gonna be my wife. This is what he tells me. This is what I'm saying. My twin was out of control. That's why I ran from my twin, because he's out of control. He was like, you're gonna be my wife. I said, no, I'm not gonna be your wife. He said, yes, you are. You're gonna be my wife. I already know this. He was like, I hope you accept this. I was like, you're crazy. I was like, you are definitely crazy. I was like, I'm certainly not going to be your wife. I was like, that's presumptuous. I'm very feisty. I don't let men talk to me any which way. And then, you know, we were laughing and giggling about it. And every day from that point on, he kept trying to find me. He would do little things. He would, you know, when my mom was coming in, he met my mom. My mother loved him. My father came, so my father, who had passed, came to me in a dream and said to me, should I share this? I guess I can. I guess I could share this. I could share it now. So he comes to me in my dream and he says, I'm gonna come. I said, what do you mean you're coming back? He was like, I'm coming back. I said, oh, Daddy, you didn't go? You're not gone? I said, you're coming back? He's like, I'm coming back. He was like, I'm going to be your son. So I said, what? He was like, I'm going to be your son. And I said, Daddy, I can't have any more children. That's what I said to my dad. I was like, I can't have any more children. I'm not having any more children. And this is before I did the ritual for the pregnancy. Listen, I didn't know this. And he said, I'm going to be your son. And I said, Daddy, I don't have anyone. He said, you have him. You know who he is. I said, no, I don't. He was like, he knows who you are. And I was thinking to myself, who? And he said his last name. He said his last name. Okay. So I'm crazy. I was like, oh my God. But I didn't tell him because you don't want to tell. He's already out of control. And guess what? On the same day, I can tell this story now. I couldn't before because I didn't want to hurt Kirk. So I didn't want to say this because there's more to the story about that. So I had that dream on the day after I had the dream. So the morning, my twin comes to me. He's like driving like a madman. He sees me on the road. He always does this. It's really wild. He's such a saucy man. He drives to me on the road and stops me. He was like, I got to tell you something. I was like, could you not have just like talked to me like a regular person? He was like, no, I have to tell you. He was like, I went to this lady and she was a seer. He was like, I don't go to seers. He was like, I went to a seer. I was like, what do you mean a seer? He was like, she was like a woman who's a Eurobis. I was like, what do you want to see her Eurobis? He was like, she found me. I was like, okay. He was telling me she was of the bloodline of like, he's of a special bloodline. This is what he's telling her. I mean, she's telling him. He's of a bloodline. I'm not gonna say the bloodline. He's of a bloodline of so and so. I was like, that's interesting. He said something about you. I was like, what did she say about me? I was like, she don't know me. He said, no, she does. She knows what you are going to be to me. I said, what are you talking about? He said, you're gonna give birth to my son. I said, what? No, I'm not. He said, you're gonna be my wife. I said, why are you making up stuff? Because, you know, in my mind, I was like, you said this when you first met me. I'm not going to be your wife. He said, no. And he showed me, listen, he said, she said, I won't believe you. I wouldn't believe him. She said that to him. She said, she's not going to believe you. He said, because she knew he was going to tell me. She wrote it down, family. And I looked at a woman's writing saying that I was going to be his wife. Now, mind you, family, many of you don't know, I was pregnant with Kirk. Remember? I was pregnant. So when I got pregnant for Kirk, I totally didn't think that I would be twin flames with this man, because I was like, no way, because I'm having a child with Kirk. I was pregnant with twins. Many of you know the story. I'm giving you this now because I can talk about it now. And this is telling you what happens with twins. So many of you knew I was pregnant. I was excited. I wasn't talking to my twin, and we kind of made that decision. I made the decision that I didn't want to be a party to him because it was too much. Lo and behold, many of you know I had an accident. I don't talk about it. I don't really want to talk about it because there's a lot of things that go along with it. It was unnatural. It was something that was very unnatural. And you know, I was off for a couple weeks on YouTube because I had an accident. I lost the twins. Okay? Mind you, what the lady said and what my father said. That's all I want to share so far because I don't want to go too deep into it. But your twin will always be for you. Remember that. The twin will always be for you. There wasn't anything that would have held me back, no matter even my actions, my very actions of avoiding my twin and even having someone else in my life that I chose would be in my life. You remember, Carlos? Carlos, you remember. Carlos remembers. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I thought as soon as I got pregnant with the twins, it was not true. And I was like, seers lie all the time. They probably just said that. Maybe you wrote it. You know, I'm thinking all these things in my head. But you know what I forgot? I forgot my father. I forgot my father. And one more little fact, family. I tell you this because I want you to know that twinning exists. And I'm giving you a bit of my personal. It's okay to give you the personal because really at this point, it's being transparent. It isn't anything negative. It's actually quite beautiful. If many of you know that I did an Allison Co. Regression. I think many of you did it. We did she did like a mass regression, and Sensei shared it with me. I don't know if Sensei's on here. Sensei shared the regression. You know, you self-regress and actually, do you guys remember that? Allison Koch did it. So she did it online. So Sensei shared it with me. So you sit and you do your own regression, right? This is where I'll give you the for the twin, how I know he's my twin. So I do the regression. Now Sensei and Nora and Selma can vet for this. So I always tell you the truth, but I'll tell you there are other people who can vet it. So I did the regression. You do the past, you see, remember I told you I did the regression because I told you who Kirk was to me in my past life. Remember I told you he was my father. I lived in Asia and I loved cherry blossoms and he was my father and I was living alone with him in the middle of like a beautiful forest. Remember I told you? And I said he was my father. I loved him more than anything because I didn't have a mother. And he was kneeling next to an animal. He used to take care of animals. Kirk is very into animals. That's why I love him so much. So I loved him. And I remember going to school across a whole orchard of cherry blossoms. Okay, so I told you the story if I did the regression, but I didn't tell you what I saw in the future. I was in the future living somewhere else. I didn't know where it was, but I was living. Now I know where it is. I'm in Brazil. I'm somewhere in South America. So I had this. I didn't tell you this because I didn't want it to be true. In the future, I was with my mother. She was lying in a bed. She was with me in South America and she was passing away, but she was okay with it. It was beautiful. That's why I say, family, I know this. She was lying away and she was passing away. Now, we were all with her. My daughters were a little older, okay? But there was a little boy there, maybe around 3 or 4, I think, roughly 3 or 4. My husband was holding him. I couldn't see his face, but I heard his accent. My twin flame has an accent. I was upset because I knew it wasn't Kirk. My son was being held, and I remember him being in the room holding my son. My husband at the time, in the future, had an accent, a very strong accent. You'll know who my twin is based on his accent. So I got out of the regression, and I called Selma and Nora right away. I said, oh my God. I was like, I saw the future, but it wasn't Kirk. I was like, where's Kirk? Kirk would always be with me. I was like, that doesn't even make sense. I don't even accept that because I don't accept Kirk. I only accept Kirk because that's who I love. That's all I loved at the time. I was like, I don't understand why he's not there. Why is he not? It's upset me, family. It upset me so much that I didn't want to even accept, even though I knew what he was in my past life, but in the future, he was not there. So all I'm sharing with you is that this is how I vetted that that's my twin. There wasn't any behavior that I could have done to make him go away. I mated with someone else. I'm in love with someone else. I moved on with someone else, but the universe wouldn't even let me solidify a pregnancy with that other person. Okay? So I share that with you. Let that be what allows you to understand what twinning is about. It's beautiful. It's kind of sad though, because when you love somebody, you're like, I want to be with him. But if they aren't for you, they aren't for you. A twin is a twin is a twin. That's what I'm saying. I fought it so hard. And it wasn't until I did the water fast that I was okay to accept my twin in. You know, it took me a long time. It really did. And remember, he was traveling. My twin travels. So my twin was traveling. He threatened to come to South America as well. He was in Central America at the time. He was actually in Central America doing some business. He does business in Europe and in Central America. But he was there. And I didn't allow him come in because I felt a certain way. But I know who my twin is. And if it isn't my twin, it'll be vetted out in March. I know this for a fact. But I just give you all this, my father, the Q&A, quantum healing meditation, regression, him coming and telling me some quackadoodle ladies who is a Eurobus told him that he's of a bloodline that's special. That's also what's interesting too, family. I don't tell you his bloodline because I don't want to say it online, but the person who read him, she came to him. He didn't go to her, and she said he was of a bloodline, but she told him he was going to be with me. She told him that. So, you know, he's running to tell me he's excited because, you know, he said he always felt that way. And she said, you can't stop her. That's the only thing she gave me advice. Don't try to stop her and alter her path. She's very spiritual, and she has a Fidgy girl really thinks Kirk is my twin. I know, Fidgy girl, you think that. I know you do. Well, March will tell all. But I personally think whoever your twin is somebody you can't be denied. It's interesting. I know Fidgy girl's gonna go down with that. She's gonna make bets on that one. So it's beautiful, family. Aw, Fidgy girl says listen, I love him. But I pulled his roots out last night and he was very upset. I love him. I do. But I love the relationship with the twin is different. But like I said, will the real twin show up in March 11th? Before March 11th? I think so. We're going to vet it out. So will the real twin step up? Will it be Kirk? Will it be the other one? We will find out in March. I love them. I love them both. I do. I can love so many. I love so beautifully. I'm so grateful for that. I love them. They both know I love them. I love them. I will only be with one at a time. I don't do that polygamy nonsense. I'm not dipping and dabbing. I don't do that tap dance. You know what I'm saying? I could love you and not be physical with you. I can. So, yeah. I'll definitely get married. I love marriage. I do. Not the whole slavery aspect of marriage. I'm talking about the union version. I want to get married naked under a waterfall. I don't know if that's legal. In another country, it might be. On my own land, I can do it. I don't know that I want to do it. I kind of thought about that, like flowers. I know it's a little, I'm sorry. I love that. I have loved the whole native thing, like with stuff on my head and just underneath the waterfall and getting married. I love waterfalls like that. I do. It could be a personal ceremony, just like a union. I love that aspect. I don't like clothing like that. People don't realize I'm really native in that way. I know it may be offensive to people. I feel really native in that way. I'm not saying I'm walking bucket naked. I'm not saying that, but they said I'm wild. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I have memories of being a Mayan woman, you know what I mean? Having no shirt. Because I think a lot of times what it is like, maybe because I'm a busty babs, it could be why I feel like hampered like that. But I feel like we used to all be like women. We never used to wear tops like that. We wear little things over our I call fufun, our yonis, like little things like wraps or little leaves and stuff. But we never used to like have tops. I think a lot of women, I think all the women on here can confirm, it feels really uncomfortable to wear brassieres and stuff. Like it feels uncomfortable. When all of us come home, we're throwing off our bras. Every woman I know hates her bra. Like every woman I know. And the only women that get tortured the most are bustier women, because if we don't wear a bra, we would get arrested. If I'm not wearing a bra, you know what kind, I didn't wear a bra. Like, remember I went braless for like two or 3 days? And my gosh, I literally, like, I felt like I was gonna, well, so long as you don't see like the nipples, I'm okay. But sometimes I can't get away with it like most. I can't. And I feel like bras. See, all the women on here. So you think it's our nature to wear brassieres? I think men created that. I think jealous men created brassieres, because I really feel like it's abusive to our breasts. I think a lot of issues we have breast wise comes from us restricting them. Yeah, you top heavy. Yeah, you stop wearing bras. I'm saying, see, everyone on here, naked and wild and free. It's uncomfortable for women to wear bras. Men, listen, all my males in my life that ever loved me were okay with me not wearing, well, that doesn't make sense. Well, they would be okay with me not wearing a bra. Bras actually cause your breasts to sag. They actually do. Someone said that was, I remember there was a debate on this. Women who didn't wear bras had more firm breasts, because it kind of, what it does is a bra causes like a codependency. When you wear your breasts regular, it just, WAB, women against bras. Yo, you need to make the t-shirt, Pavel. I'll wear it. Women against bras. I love it. That should be a movement. We shouldn't wear bras. Men who hate women invented bras. I agree. They do. They don't want us to have our bosoms out. Yeah, it isn't natural for us to wear bras. So when I say naked to you, I don't mean like my yoni out. I don't think it's healthy for you to have your fufun, what we call fufun, or fufun out. I don't think that's natural. I think you're supposed to have a little cup, because you can have things, but you're supposed to have hair there too. I think they have the whole trend of making you look like a little girl down there. We're supposed to have hair that protects down there. You know what I mean? Your yoni is supposed to be, with coverage, with a carpet. It just is. You can make it nice and procured, but it's supposed to have that to protect you from things going in there. But we're actually born the way we're supposed to. Animals have fur. This is what I'm saying. We're supposed to be born the way we're supposed to be. We're not born with clothing. You're born without clothes because we were supposed to live. We were living on a planet that didn't require clothing. Every species is born as they are. Lizards aren't putting on panties, right? You don't see squirrels out here putting on shirts. Do you understand what I'm saying? So people always I think just the whole concept of males, patriarchy really did that. We aren't supposed to have clothing. You're supposed to be born as you are. Clothing is something comes with beings that aren't from here. There were beings that weren't naturally from this planet that clothed us, that had uncomfortability, or other beings coming from cooler areas. We aren't supposed to. We're born the way we're supposed to. Every animal, every species doesn't put clothes on. So when I say naked, people are like, oh my God, what's she saying? She's a perv. I'm not saying I want to have sex with everybody. Because I'm naked doesn't want me to have sex with everybody. It just means that I'm okay being who I am in my skin. And this is where nature was right. You know who said this? And this is why he's sick, but he's not. Because he's a perv. So when he says being naked all the time, we know what he wants to do. But he's absolutely correct. We're born the way we're supposed to be. You have everything you need. So I'm just saying, I would prefer to, wherever listen, someone was asking about the sanctuary. I'm creating a sanctuary for women, families, and for a village. But I'm not, the only reason, you know why Nature Not didn't do tops? Because I told him that's how I was going to live. He thought on my videos, most people don't know that. The reason Nature Not decided to have the women not wear brassieres is because he used to see me on videos and he thought I was topless. And he asked me about that and I said, I'm going to live without that. It's a natural. Then he decided, he's a copy and paster. He's a parasite. So he took that concept and ran with it for his own perversions. But on my village, I'm not going to require women to have tops like that. And I'm not going to make them naked either, but I'm just saying a breastfeeding mother who's living in a sanctuary can breastfeed her child, and we won't have egregious men thinking that that's sexual. If a man sees women with breasts all the time breastfeeding, he's not going to sexualize women. We create taboos by hiding our bodies. Healthy men who grow up in healthy families with healthy women have less issues with sexual perversions because it isn't something that's tabooed. Taboos come from you hiding, running around, you know, making it seem like it's naughty, it's something that they shouldn't see, tabooing it. It isn't natural. Braziers aren't natural. They aren't. And when I say naked, that's what I mean, ladies. I'm not meaning it perverted. I'm not advocating for men to sexually abuse. I breastfed my daughters with these. I did. And I'm so proud and so grateful. And if I have a son, I will feed him too. Unapologetically. That's what these were intended for. It's not a sexual thing, but it is absolutely beautiful. It's one of the wonderful things that makes us a woman. I really appreciate being a woman. I love my body. I appreciate it as thick as I get sometimes, as small as I am. I love my body, and I'm so grateful for how my body functions. And having clothing isn't natural for women. We aren't to wear these braziers. Right now I have a strapless on right here. And I could do this because mostly moms on here. I have a strapless on. I don't want to wear it because it's uncomfortable. It really is. I want to let my bosoms out. I just want to be more free so I'm not cover it, but I wish I didn't have to wear this. And they look beautiful. I love my grandmother, my mother, everybody. I appreciate our breasts. Flurban, let's get in the WAB. Make it for the conference. All the sea stars will wear for the conference. Women against bras. Making a movement. A braless society. Strapless bras are uncomfortable. They are. It feels like I'm being squished like a sausage. That's how it feels. I remember one time my mate came over. He was like, take off the bra. I was like, what? He said, take off the bra. I was like, listen, perv. He was like, no, you look uncomfortable. And I took it off. He didn't accost me. He liked seeing it, obviously, but he didn't accost me because it was uncomfortable. Burn the bras. We should probably do that. I'd probably get arrested if I do that on YouTube. If I do that, your nipples are supposed to get the sun. And that's also gives us vitamin D. That's another thing we don't get enough. Thank you, Melanie High Priestess. Our nipples are supposed to get the sun. That's why they have a lot of melanin. All women, even very fair-skinned women, have melanin around their nipples because you're supposed to get sun. It actually charges. Probably makes the milk. Who's that? Probably makes the milk better for the babies. You probably get more sustainment, like maybe it gives more energy to the milk that you give to the babies. A lot of women, Cali women don't wear bras as much. I've taken away from wireless bras, but I'm just saying bras in general aren't healthy. And I don't advocate it at all. I don't advocate it at all. Like if a woman, especially with a lot of breast issues and stuff that are going out here, a lot of women are you know, a lot of this is coming from restriction, putting your cells together, because we have little lymph nodes under there. You're pushing your lymph nodes together all the time. It's going to cause some sort of atrophy, some issues later. Yeah. I think all breasts are beautiful. I think you were intended to nurse your babies with them. They're beautiful. From the smallest breast to the largest breast, it's all beautiful. Natural, beautiful women, breasts, your breasts are beautiful. They're beautiful, you know? So I just think, you know, it's interesting. My ex didn't like me naked. What did you say? Your ex didn't like you naked? He liked the mystery. Stayed in bed naked, free, where he could not see. Interesting. Well, you know, males like, it's not about what they like. It's how we feel healthy. If our healthiness, in our healthiness, a healthy male will like a woman for her healthiness. So whatever's healthy for you, a healthy mate will be in alignment with that. You know what I mean? A healthy mate will be in alignment with whatever is healthy for you. Healthy mates will always promote and will always be in alignment with you being healthy. You know what I mean? So if you have a healthy mate and he sees you running around all the time, he'll be like, you know what, get off your feet. Go sit down. My twin flame will say, go sit down, please. Go sit down. I don't like you running around like that. I got the dishes. Go sit down. It makes me uncomfortable with you working like that. That's what my mate says. He doesn't like seeing me running around doing stuff all the time. He doesn't like that because he wants me healthy. If he sees that I'm tired or so, he's like, go lie down. I want you to lie down because I want you to relax because you look like you're tired, okay? That's a healthy mate. Same likewise, we do it as women. We give our men smoothies and stuff like that. Women generally we do that because we're very nurturing. Most of us, not all, most of us. But men, it's nice when you have a male counterpart who's just as caring and you know, and proactive with ensuring that you take care of yourself as well. You know, I think that's amazing. That's also a quality of a healthy male. Master knowing self. Yeah. The whole left. Master knowing self, loving self, then you will recognize your twin. Absolutely. That's the number one way. Your husband is the same way. He never ashamed my body. No, why? Men love healthy bodies. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. You know, the issues that we have with bodies comes from our own perception, you know, our own, you know, whatever we were conditioned with, maybe insecurities we had. But men love, like I said, I'm a thickums family. You know me. Many of you met me at the conference. I've always been thick. I have thinner versions of thick and I have thicker versions of thick. I'm thick, okay? So I always tell women all the time, I'm okay with me. When I'm with men, let me repeat, they love how I look, naked or with clothing. They appreciate it. There isn't one. My ex used to call me names sometimes because he knew how I felt insecurity wise. But when we were all in the throw, he loved every inch of me. And there wasn't anything about me that he wouldn't get him excited. Do you know what I mean? So this is something that we have to get over because we have these. Every woman is individually built the way she's supposed to. So if women are very slender, they're beautiful, they're nice, slender, that's a beautiful frame for them. There are women that are more medium, maybe they have a little flatter chest, but they have bigger hips. That's what's beautiful about them. We come in so many amazing shapes and sizes, but when you're engaged mating, men love when they're engaged with us in our natural way. Love it. I remember this guy telling me he was with this, what would you consider, what do they call her, like a, what is it, like a, I don't know, she looked like a Nubian queen. Listen, he was this guy, he was in love with her. She used to wear her hair afro at a time it wasn't popular. She had an afro. Listen, her afro was on point. Her skin was always shea buttered up. She had a beautiful little tight figure. She used to walk around with beautiful thick lips, just no makeup, flawless. This man, one time she went to a wedding. Okay, listen. So her mother told her, this is a very good story. Her mother told her to go to a wedding, so she got her hair braided. You know, like beautiful braids. It pissed him off. He was mad. He was like, I like her hair. I don't want her putting no extensions in her hair. He was like, it's sexy. He wasn't just saying it. He thought she was so sexy. The way she had her fro, he said it turned him on. He didn't want her putting any weave in her hair, putting extensions. He felt like it took away from her beauty. This is what I'm saying. When a man loves you, that's what, you know, someone felt like I was criticizing hair yesterday. I wasn't. Men love you in your messiest, most natural way. The man who wants you pheromonically, he likes your hair frizzy and crazy, or beautiful froze and just glistening. Men like us the way we are in our natural way. I've never known a man, and if a man doesn't like you natural, it's because he's struggling with his own self-esteem. That has to do with him. That has zero to do with you. Because I know men who love it, just, they want you to look, you know, some of them lunar females, like their hair will be all tangled in the morning. The men just like them better. They haven't showered. Men like real women. Healthy men like real women. Let me state that, because not all men. Healthy males with healthy self-esteem like real women. Real women. Not the artificial AI women that you see on IG that are clones, that look like something out of, you know, straight out of Clones Are Us or Biobot specials in, you know, like Radio Shack. They like real women. You know, when I go to other countries and you see women just wearing, like I said, I was in Brazil, these women got it down. And these were very women that didn't have a lot of money, women of color in Brazil with froze, natural hair. They couldn't afford all the stuff, but the men were just, that was their thing. Like they loved them. There wasn't a woman there. I saw women of all sizes, all women of color, because it's mostly women of color in Brazil, especially in northern Brazil. When I saw, they were looking like just regular women, hair, they didn't wear makeup, anything like that. Every woman had a man attached to her who was enamored by her. So that's what I'm saying. Be careful what you looking at these artificial women and taking that on yourself and making yourself feel less. When he sees your jiggles, listen, I got jiggles that make you giggle. Jiggle it. Remember that song? Just a little bit. I want to see you jiggle it just a little bit. I remember that song. What was it? Who sang that one? I remember that song. It was cool. I remember. Listen, I got jiggles, and every time you're in a mix with your jiggles, men love that. They're like, oh, she moves. Oh. He sees that little wiggle. It's like, oh. You ever see the belly dancers? They got tummies. You ever see the belly dancers? They always do this, like, little gyration with their tummies. You've never seen a belly dancer without jiggles. She dances for the sultans. You ever see those belly dancers? They got the jiggle in their stomach. They got jiggles in their thighs, right? They shaking their bums and their tummies are shaking. Here in the States, they make it seem like that's horrific. You go in the Middle East where these men are wealthy beyond your comprehension. They are amazingly enamored by these jiggly women. So don't play into this artificial. I love belly dancing. I took that class in New York City before I got married. I was taking a class, me and my girlfriends. It was fun. It was the one time you wanted jiggles on your stomach. You were like, darn, because my stomach wasn't really jiggly. At the time, I didn't really have a jiggly because I didn't have babies. So I was trying, but I had thighs. I'm a Sagittarius, we got thighs. So I was jiggling my hips and, but the woman was so sexy. She was like, where was she from? Where was she from? She was, where was she from? She wasn't from Saudi Arabia. Where was she from? I forgot. I think she was from Turkey. If I'm not mistaken. And she taught that class. What? I remember 2 of the girls' husbands came in. He was like, I don't need to be in here. Her jiggles were just all kinds of sexy. And she was a smaller woman, but she had jiggles on her tummy, her thighs. It was beautiful, though. It was so sexy. It was just because it was nicely aligned, but it was womanly. It was beautiful. I loved it. I loved it a lot. Belly dancing was fun, right? Oh, it was a great class. That's a good class to take with your girlfriends. If you take it together, take it with your girlfriends. We would giggle all through the class. We were shaking. I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have a tummy at the time because I had like a flat kind of tummy because I didn't have babies. So I was just, I was just shaking. I had, I was busty, so, bustiness. I would, you do this, when you do the little jiggle, I could do that. But it was nice. It was beautiful. African Senegals do it. Oh, they got it too. I love belly dancing. It is beautiful. So anyway, family, I don't know where I went on this. This is why people get mad when it comes to my video. This is why they get mad when it comes to my video, because we started off with pulling roots. Pull the roots, family. Pull the roots out. And if anyone's coming in, we talked about pulling the roots rather than cutting cords. Pull the roots out of those old contracts, those relationships that fulfilled their contracts. I pulled out roots last night unknowingly. Big up to Paula again, who suggested that that's something we had to do, and she was absolutely correct. I pull out the roots, and unfortunately, there was somebody who was hurt by it in the dream state, Kirk. But it was amazing. So it's amazing. Twin flames are on point tomorrow. We have to do these things. This is intel that came in from the universe via Paula, who's still in Brazil. I was so upset because I was always gonna wait until Paula. I was almost gonna jump on a flight. I felt like jumping on a flight like in 2 weeks back to Brazil. But I gotta, I'm gonna go a little. I have some business to take care of. But I was listening to her talking, and we always used to walk and do our walk to the cafezine, because they drink a lot of coffee. We always go to a cafezine to have coffee. So I'm like getting flashbacks of our favorite place, and I loved our coffeenistas. Oh, it was so amazing. Tomorrow I think 1 o'clock is good. 13th hour. We could start if we're gonna do our preparation. So remember, I don't have to necessarily do it at 1 o'clock. We can just do it because we're just gonna go through the steps of dressing our candle. Then we're gonna write our mantra and everything, and then you can light it whenever you want. I think it's a full moon tomorrow. Generally, you don't do things like this on a full moon, but we're gonna use this red moon. I think it's a red moon tomorrow. We're using the energies of the moon to allow for this to come to fruition. Okay, so it's Venus Day too. It's the land of love. So we're going to utilize the energies to allow to field in the twin flames. And I'm the master. One thing I do hold true. I am the master in manifestation. I am a muse. And this will bring forth true love, even with yourself. We're gonna have fun with it too and play music and sing and bring in our true love. It's a twinning. It's all about the twinning. And there isn't any need. Someone was saying, oh, they're with somebody. Your twin flame will come to you. I gave you the story. You can rewind this if you didn't hear the story about what happened with my twin flame and Kirk. You will hear the story and it will literally make you realize that twinning is real. Every phenomenon that happened would disallow for me to merge with anyone else but my twin. It wouldn't even allow it. It wouldn't even allow it, even if I loved them. So it's amazing if you listen. So I think 1 o'clock I want to do the twinning video. Okay, roughly 1 o'clock. Okay, I'll have my coffee. We'll do our twinning to sing. I'm gonna have songs. I hope I don't get see that. I gotta be careful with all the songs because you know they like to copyright. All this copyright, you can't even play music anymore. You know what I'm saying? I want to play music. I got to be careful what I play because, you know, sometimes they'll flag the video and the video will be taken off. So I got to be careful with the music. I'll only play like one song because I know maybe 1 or 2 songs that I know maybe won't be flagged. So I got to make sure. So I wish there was songs. Does anyone know any songs that are not on the copyright list? See, it's none of the songs I want. I want DeBarge. DeBarge is gonna sing "Love Me, You're Special." I'm gonna play DeBarge. Remember, I'm playing males, masterful males, all these loving songs. Hello, is it me you're looking for? Marvin Gaye. Oof. I got a whole bunch of songs. I'm gonna be mindful. I'm gonna try to be careful so I won't be flagged for the copyright. 1 o'clock Eastern. 1 o'clock Eastern. The girl next door wants to be in her eyes forevermore. That was a song that was dedicated to me in, I forgot what grade. The girl next door, because I'm the girl next door. I was a typical nerdy girl that was a girl next door. So I would always be solicited by boys who were like, I didn't have a lot of boyfriends because my parents weren't big on that, and I was a geek. I don't really into boys like that. But the New Edition, right? The girl next door. They used to sing that. What else? Let's wait. I love all these songs. I have so many songs in my head. I have songs in my head that I just have as theme songs. So tomorrow we're gonna do this roughly 1 o'clock. Have all your stuff. It doesn't have to be a lot of stuff. Remember, I told you Stevie B is good. Yeah, I'm gonna have all the stuff. It's almost like your friend who has everything. And energies wise, we're doing it collectively. So we'll do it all together. Billy Ocean. We got all these songs. Think about songs. Start playing songs before I get on the video. So start already getting in the mode. And make sure you feel good about yourself. Like I should have really wore this shirt tomorrow. I'll probably wear another green shirt. I should have wore this. I can't wear it again because it's going to be, you know, when Florida, once you wear a shirt like this in Florida, I got to wash it. I can't wear it again because this is a perfect shirt to wear. I feel really green with this shirt. But make sure you're in the energies. Play your music, you know what I mean? Just play music, feel sexy. Take your shower, glisten yourself up. You know, have some strawberries, champagne. Remember we said if you're going to do champagne with strawberries or fraises, champagne with fraises, you know, that or cherries. If you like champagne, do that. Have that. And then you could do chocolate with strawberries. Eat it. Woo, be in a loving, sexy, not so much sexy, but loving. Be in that frequency of love, the divine love. You know what I mean? So bring that to cherries. You're going to have cherries, green. Have everything ready. Play your music right before we go online. Every song that you think about is love with the opposite sex that you're trying to attract. So always play the songs. So play all those songs. So when we come on, we all have the love frequency on us. Wear the loving colors, green. If you want to wear pink for the day, I don't say it's wrong. I just said be careful with that cosmic color. It's beautiful. Like I said again, I love pink, but they've bastardized it with the Cancer mark on it. So just wear your colors, mint condition. Oh, snap. You already got songs. This is what I'm saying. I wish there was a platform we could go to that we could just play as the music list. Does she get in trouble? Wait, there's a YouTuber. I wonder if she gets in trouble when she plays all those songs. No, she doesn't do it on YouTube. I think she does it on Facebook. You know, the DJ? She plays all those songs. She doesn't get in trouble. No, she doesn't play. No, I don't think she does it on YouTube because they would flag her for everything. She's that DJ I was trying to get for the conference. She's a young sea star. She's off the chain. If anybody knows her, Convince her to take my event instead. Say, Floorbird is so much more fun. My event is way more fun. I don't know if it'll be fun, but she's young. But my event will be interesting. We might have some visitations from the Andromedans. You know what I'm saying? The Celestials. Try to get her to come, please. I don't know who knows her. I usually know everybody. I don't know her. She's one of the ones I don't know. I don't have influence over her. Usually I can utilize my influence. Or who I know. I don't know anyone who knows her. I forgot her name. Many of you know who it is. That's that young sister. She's always DJing on FB. I love her. I love her energy. What's her name? I don't know her name. Dance party. Anyway, if anybody knows who I'm talking about, because sometimes you guys just know. The millennials know who I'm talking about. She's always on YouTube. I'm in Facebook. She's DJing. She's a young girl. She does in her room. She gets paid for this. So many people. I saw her. Remember, if anybody on here from Cypher, you know the song, the music, the girl. I'm trying to get her. I want her. You know when you just like someone? I like her. I want her for the conference. Smokey Robinson. Y'all got Rick James. Oh, Ebony Eyes. What? You already given me in the loving spirit. We're going to be off the chain tomorrow. Listen, for anybody who doesn't believe in twin flames, whoever's coming towards you tomorrow for that energy, because remember, it takes about, after we do our candle work, it usually probably by the new moon, you'll see the results. You'll probably see it right away. Usually our manifestation works right away. Hold on. Okay. Did I plug this in properly? Okay. Ooh. Okay. There. Yeah. Yeah, just make sure you have your music, get your snacks. What else we're gonna do? Everything, the energy. I'm gonna be burning my patchouli, my patchouli incense, my loving incense, patchouli. Just, be in that frequency. Everything. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. Pull the roots tonight, family. Okay. So make sure. Why is this phone not charging? This is one of the things when I'm in the car. Come on. Okay. Make sure you pull your roots tonight. Pull out all those relationships that are stoic. Those dead trees that are inside of you. Pull them from the roots. Florence about to get pregnant. I don't want to get pregnant. I don't want to be pregnant before the conference. That wouldn't be fun. I told my twin that's not before the conference. Yeah, maybe after. Not before the conference. You tell men not to do something. Sometimes they just do it for point. I'll allow whatever is healthy and natural. Believe me, you. But yeah, we're gonna play our music tomorrow for all our sun stars on here. This is for you too. Many of our sun stars. A lot of our sun stars are joining us. Oz, you're joining us, right? A lot of our sun stars are joining us tomorrow. It's gonna be amazing. Twin Flames Online. Pull your roots, family. So I'm gonna go. I think I stayed on topic somewhat until we got into dead bodies. I shouldn't have done that, but I'm sorry. I try to stay on topic as long as you want. I always tell people, go to the beginning of the video. I usually stay on topic for like the first 20 minutes, and then after that, it's just sidebarred heaven. So usually at the beginning, if you want to watch my videos, I'll stay on topic for the beginning, and then I sidebar. I actually have a live tonight. We're doing vaccinations. It'll be on Patreon. I have an amazing guest. She's always been on talking about vaccinations. Gail's written a book called the Rainbow Recipes. I think it's called the Rainbow Recipes. I hope I didn't botch it. She wrote the book, grain-free, soy-free, nut-free. She's a mom. We're talking about vaccinations, so we're getting in tonight. Mommy mode, protect the babies and the ancestors. Her book is on point. She just got it out. Oh, it's beautiful. And she did a little note, of recognition to me. I'm really appreciate it, Gail. I love you. So she's doing her part for the planet and the ancestors. So anyway, join me tonight at 9 o'clock. I'm going to go. Like I said, I'm going to eat. I'm going to start pulling back from my eating. I'm hungry. I drink my coffee. You could already predict. My mate already knows when I'm going to be hungry because I drink coffee. I'm not hungry during my coffee. But right after I drink my coffee, like maybe a couple minutes after, then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to have something to eat. I'll eat something light. You know what I mean? All right, family. So I'm gone. Have a masterful, amazing day. Pull out your roots tonight. However, energetically, find out where those cords are going to of those old relationships that are already served its purpose. Pull them out. I did it last night. And then you'll be all ready for tomorrow, all shiny. Oh, shiny, you beautiful. Sun stars and sea stars is amazing. Get ready. I hope you got yourself all ready for your twin flame. Just flame on. Fertility food. You need to stop, Oz. I love you, family. Peace. Peace, peace, peace.